Welcome back to the Fan Speak Network. I am filling in for Steve. This is not Talking Ball with Steve Speak, Talking Ball with Meg. And then it's going to phase right into Spread and Tyler's Tuesday night NFL betting card. So we are going to do all that. I don't know why I cannot find I can't find the open. So we're just, I'm just getting used to StreamYard. So screw the open. Won't worry about that. But yes, Steve is still in IR. He's recovering from a mild pneumonia, bronchitis, hoping to get him off IR and back in the YouTube streets here on hopefully Thursday or Friday. But he's feeling better. Appreciate all the kind words. But yeah, we are going to be talking through best ball portfolio. We're going to talk through week 12 rankings, do some underdog drafts. We can even look at best ball playoffs too. We got that going as well. And then Spread and Tyler will join me around 6 p.m. Eastern, and we will get into, I'll probably chat with them for a few minutes about the week 12 slate, but then they'll get into their NFL betting card, of course, finding the week's best sides and totals. So let me hit up the chat really quick because I saw a few you already jumped in. Meg solo stream. I don't know, that might not be the best thing, but that we're going to go with it. We're just pivoting here. Beat by a burner, Mike. Yeah, your own burner. I absolutely love it. Good to see you. We appreciate you, Mike. Of course, we appreciate you, Stephen, WC, GM, everyone. Of course, hey, we got Hulk mashed potatoes in here. Good to see you as well. Let me see if I can figure out why I cannot find things in the back end. This is where I usually defer to Steve to talk while I can't find stuff. And so that's why it is kind of hard to do a show by yourself. Sometimes I give the OGs and the best in the biz, like Pete Overzet, credit. Cause you don't have anybody to kind of riff for you while you're trying to figure stuff out. I cannot figure out some stuff on my back end, and StreamYard, always a good time with that. So anyways, we power through here. But again, things we're talking about today, best ball portfolio first. We're through week 11. We've got 12, 13, 6 weeks left to go in the best ball season, 3 weeks until best ball playoffs. So a lot to talk about here. Definitely, as far as like the playoff formats, it's really starting to take shape. What's probably going to make the playoffs and probably not going to make the playoffs. And then, of course, for my season-long format, I am hanging in there. Went a little down and then up. And anyways, I'm in third now in the marathon. Let me bring over BBMD first. And we will, I don't know why I'm hearing myself now. Anyways, but yeah, I was trying to check. I mean, it is really hard to do your own solo stream because I always check things on Twitter, make sure everything's working. So actually I will do that for 1 minute. I'm going to mute it for a second, This is where I'd love to be able to play music in the background, but everything is not working. Let's see. Nope, that's just sound effects. This is awful. I hate the new StreamYard. I'm going to literally lose my mind at the new StreamYard. If I refresh it, will that be bad? Will I lose the whole stream? We'll find out. Yeah, turns out I do lose the whole stream. It's absolutely insane. Let me see if that helped me be able to. Okay, that it was driving me crazy. That did help me be able to see all the other stuff. Like I couldn't play the open and stuff earlier. Couldn't get to some of the other stuff. I guess I just needed to refresh it. So I hate just hearing dead silence. I know Steve hates the music. I need a little music. So we're going to feed the ducks. If it's too loud or too soft, let me know, but I need something in the background or just being left alone with my thoughts. That's too much. It's too much. Okay, so now let me bring over Underdog. Let's see. We're going to bring over the Underdog BBMDB, of course. There's so many good there's multiple portfolio things to check on now, but I appreciate BBMDB, Patrick Donovan, what he's created. Absolutely amazing. So let me bring that over. We will do that first, as you can see on the screen. So Bringing that over now. So, of course, you could check tournament by tournament. We'll just go to the marathon first because that's obviously my biggest sweat currently. I mean, of course, we'll see once we get to playoffs. But so the marathon, it was Jonathan Taylor's bye week. So I was super nervous and I needed, CMC and Rashad White. Well, CMC delivered with 3 touchdowns. Absolutely amazing. I don't know why I did my name. We'll get back to that in a minute. Let me just look at the total. So yeah, I'm currently in third, but so with Jonathan Taylor and bye, CMC was amazing, 3 touchdowns, but Rashad White, pristine matchup with the Bills defense, who's terrible against the run. And I mean, I knew Sean, with Bucky Irving still out, I knew Sean Tucker, was kind of now splitting the workload, but I felt like game script dependent and they were, playing from behind against the Bills, that I was going to be protected and Rashad White could put up a solid score. Well, apparently the Bucs were just going to ride the hot hand, and the hot hand, unfortunately for me, was Sean Tucker. So even if Rashad White, I think had 7 points for me, even if he would have gotten just like half of what Sean Tucker got, or, something like that, because Sean Tucker put up a monster day with 3 touchdowns, that would have been so huge for me. But you know what? We power through. I was very nervous last night. I had a big Dak stack going. So Dak Prescott, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, Pickens and Ferguson both get a touchdown. Dak has 4, Pickens goes off. It was amazing. So I was down and I worked my way back up to third. So I'm in third place at 16-10. I'm about 7 points behind second and about 12 points behind first. This is a team I've been, of course, watching. Going to be nervous this week because, as you can see on the screen, Herbert on bye. Rodgers has a slightly fractured left wrist, thankfully. And so now, I mean, to no surprise, however you feel about Rodgers, I know there's some people that hate him, some people that love him, some people indifferent. I actually love him. I mean, to me, as these good quarterbacks are close to retirement, I want to enjoy every minute of watching them still. So I am a big Rodgers fan and still watching greatness and great quarterbacks. Despite even when they're older. And I felt that way about Manning and Breeze and, all the other quarterbacks that, retired before. Rodgers is now on his retirement tour and he wants to beat the Bears one more time. So I'm hoping he plays. I'm hoping it gives me 2 outs this week because Dak is playing the Eagles. So that's tough. Herbert was awful last week against the Jaguars, but Dak Prescott playing the Eagles. Obviously, we know what that Eagles defense is doing to quarterbacks. So nervous about that. And then Rodgers, playing with a brace on his left hand if he is allowed to play. So I hope he's allowed to play. I hope he can still give the Bears one more kick in the ass. And then I will have both CMC, Jonathan Taylor, but it's now thin without Scatterbo. And that's been really, really hard. And now, Rashad White not getting RB1 treatment. So I wish Braylon Allen could come back. I doubt that's going to happen. I wish Josh Brooks could get more involved. That didn't happen, despite P. Ryan being out. So this is where I'm at. But I only have to get through one more bye week with my receivers, Diggs on week 14, one more bye week with McCaffrey, week 14. That's going to be tough. And Herbert's on bye this week. So I think Gasecki is coming back. So this is my big sweat on Marathon. And as you can see, if you pull up my name, I did 53 teams for Marathon. So, right now it's obviously buoyed by the rest of them are not, $650 worth for the rest of them, but I do have one in 352nd place. I actually like the team, I think in 1,000th place, but yeah, I have 4 and 5 in the top, essentially 1,500. Can these move up to make, to up that total payout? Obviously, I'm sweating the third place team. The 352nd in the top, because this is probably where I was with the team that ended up finishing 158 at this time last year. So this could still make noise. Purdy, May, Daniel Jones, same double anchor with Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. Thank God, love those two. Just hope these teams stay healthy the rest of the way. Jordan Mason, Ray Davis, JCM, who's not, looking at Chris Rodriguez, got more of the work. Higgins, Worthy, J-Mo, Pearsall, Keenan Allen, Pop Douglas, Romeo Dubs, Ferguson, Jonnu, Fannin. I think that's fine. I think that could move up potentially now that Purdy's back. So though Purdy and May are both on the same bye week of 14. So hopefully Daniel Jones has a good bye week 14. I think it was this team that I really liked. Yeah, because it was another Dak team. Dak, May, Rodgers, McCaffrey, Henry, Montgomery. And I think I liked it because there's three, viable running backs there. Whereas some, it's just like I have that double anchor, but the rest are kind of thin. So having David Montgomery as a third with Scatterboo out feels nice. And, does Terry come back and do something? At least Pickens is in this one. But then the rest of this one, maybe it's not this one because the rest of these receivers are pretty much ass, except Dubs and Douglas are decent. But I think I like that has like the Kittle Ferguson, which is kind of fun. I can't remember. I thought there was another one. I think this one's actually potentially fun because the receivers are the quarterbacks, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Aaron Rodgers, McCaffrey. If Hampton comes back, then Mason, Rashad White, Kyle Mononga has been kind of the goal line back, Justice Hill, BTJ, Ridley's Dunzo, JMO, Roma Dunze, Diggs, Keenan Allen. Those are a lot of my receivers in my first place team. Jake Ferguson and Freiermuth are on my third place team. So yeah, I hope in total, of course, I want to get first. And then I want, the rest of these to move up as much as possible. Let's see how Steve's doing in the marathon. That's what's nice is once you go to the contest, you can type the name, type the players, all this portfolio management type stuff. So Steve at 115 teams, total payout right now over 2K. He's got 1, 2, 3 in the top 500 and 4 in the top, 655. So that's fun, making anywhere between 100 and 300. And then, a decent chunk, honestly, in the top 2,000. And then he's got a very decent chunk cashing. And I think for both Steve and I, what's tough is when, again, I said it, and that's what's cool about being third in the marathon and having a marathon sweat is I did so much content for the marathon. So, on our Substack, link in the description. Actually, I think I forgot to put the link in the description. It's scrolling across the bottom. But I will drop it in there in our chat. But excuse me, on our Substack, I did multiple marathon articles. I had my marathon rankings because Steve was doing the rankings for so many other things like Superflex and I believe DraftKings, Superflex, Sprint. So I did the rankings for the marathon because I said I want to lean into this year. So I had my marathon rankings on Substack. I had multiple articles this year on Substack. Steve and I did multiple marathon shows. I did a couple other marathon spots on other channels and a couple on my own. So I just think it's really fun that I leaned into marathon content this off season, this best ball season. And now I have a marathon sweat and I hope, this team just stays healthy and I continue to have a marathon sweat all the way through week 17. So yeah, if you have any specific marathon questions, let me know. But yeah, as far as, all season, I just said with marathon, I think you're rewarded for good drafting and good player takes the most because it's not like the whole galaxy brain stuff. Oh, well, I'm pushing a low owned player to playoffs. And then if they go off and all that stuff, no pod luck, all those things, the luck all comes in. You just need your team to stay healthy. Well, the Scatabo thing is a body blow to both Steve and I because he was operating essentially as, maybe on some teams like a second running back, but he was operating as a third, sometimes fourth running back on teams, but definitely like a third running back and really like hitting that flex a lot. So that hurts. And that's why I had originally had more teams in the top 500 in the top 1,000. And I think it's all falling just 3 weeks of not having that third running back to hit the flex has hurt, so hopefully we stay healthy the rest of the way. I do think losing Scatabo for both Steve and I, who we both had a high, let's see if it'll tell this is Steve's portfolio. Does it tell? Yeah, Steve had 26 of his 115 teams. I made a big stand. That was the whole thing. Cause I said, okay, marathon, it's player takes. If it stays healthy and they do what you think, you're rewarded for good player takes. And so you need them to stay healthy. That didn't happen. But yeah, he had 26 and he's still cashing $320 of his Scatabo teams. I made big player stands. For better or worse, I made big player take stands. And so if you go back to me, we'll do that in a minute. But yeah, to finish up with Steve, 115 teams, 2,000 payouts. So definitely profiting so far. But I think it's fun that he's in a position with 4 teams in his top 655 right now. He can make some noise with that. It definitely, that payout can definitely go up, hopefully. Let me go back to my name and you'll see I made big player take stands and Scatabo was the biggest. And so, yeah, 35 of my 53 teams had Scatabo. So that's why these teams that were, I had that are now in the thousands with Scatabo, a lot of them were in the hundreds and 500. So, that hurts. And that, again, that's where the luck comes in a marathon. And I hope our teams stay healthy the rest of the way. But it is interesting to look at all this. And again, sweating out that third place team. Okay, let me go to portfolio now, take a look at that. Let me hit up chat first, and then I will go back to the portfolio. I feel so much better that I refreshed. If it froze, I apologize, but I still feel so much better that I refreshed, and I actually can work StreamYard, have some music here. And again, if you're just coming in, first of all, be sure to like this episode. If you're not subscribed to the FanSpeak Network, we have shows every single weekday, sometimes multiple shows. This week's been tough. Steve is recovering from bronchitis and trying to get well. And hopefully he'll be back on the YouTube streets with us soon, but we have shows every single weekday here on our FanSpeak Network. So make sure you are subscribed. And in this case, I don't think I have the link in the description, but our FanSpeak DGen Substack is only $34.99 for the entire year. If you click any show on the FanSpeak Network, you'll see that link and you get a free week trial. Check it out, $34.99, and it's the entire year. So you get all of our best ball stuff, which is all best ball season, winter, spring, summer, and then all of our in-season contests, DFS, Underdog rankings, and NFL bets. By the way, NFL bets, I just need to bet for 1 second. We came so close to the 2 bets we did on Substack. I had a horrible weekend betting DFS, Underdog. Best ball was rough. And so it felt good to have a better day yesterday. We had Pickens as our official play on Substack, 70 plus receiving. I personally laddered him to 100. Check. Great. Awesome. He was amazing. And then we had 2 parlays that we sent out both. And again, once you get into our Substack, and I need to email more people individually to get them over to Discord, you can then jump in with us on Discord. So we posted in Discord as well our bets last night. And one was Genty touchdown, Lamb touchdown, Pickens 70. Well, Pickens 70 and Lamb touchdown, easy breezy. Had that at halftime. Couldn't get the Genty touchdown. Then the other one was Pickens 90, check. Dak 3 touchdowns, check. Had that by halftime. We needed, and we always do like a $5 lotto for fun. We need 30 plus Genty receiving yards, which they were peppering him last night. Just didn't work out. He got about 27. And then we needed Trey Tucker for 60. And he is the one that runs the most routes of the Vegas receivers. But Geno stinks, Vegas stinks, and we didn't get there. And we missed that by 13 yards, or maybe less than that. I think we missed that by like 8 yards and Genty by 3 yards. So almost hit a lotto. We've almost hit multiple lottos. We are going to get one of those home. So again, you're getting a lot of content for our Substack. Be sure to check that out. If you're watching this on Twitter, come over to YouTube Streets, say hi. Again, the format, this is kind of like a collab show where we're kind of blocking it together. I'm filling in for Steve, who again will hopefully be back here on YouTube Thursday or Friday. I'm doing what Steve normally does, best ball portfolio, Underdog rankings, which I'll be posting his week 12 Underdog rankings right after the show, but I'll pull it up for us to look at. Underdog week 12 live drafts. We could talk a little playoff best ball because I know they launched the early best ball playoff contest. And then Spread and Tyler are going to be joining. I'll say hi to them. We'll talk week 12 slate, and they'll do their normal NFL betting card show. So I think that covered all that. Let me again get back to chat, and can appreciate you all joining me and saying hi, hitting that like button. Appreciate all the finger math. Yeah, I had to do the finger math. And we got Steve in here. Hello, sister. Hello, brother. And yes, hopefully he's on the mend. Yeah, I had to refresh it. Things in the back end were not working. It was annoying the living hell out of me. So we got Legion 13 in here. First, my best ball players, and now my best ball streamers on IR. Steve will be going back. He's going to, go get another chest x-ray tomorrow. Hopefully things are clearing up so he can be back with us in the YouTube streets soon. We got Jamie in here who made a banger for DGen Dads. He made a banger for the FanSpeak Network. We'll be playing that for you guys later this week. And then Bruni will be using that to make another open, which hopefully I can get to in StreamYard. So thank you to Jamie. I said, let me send you some kind of gift. He said, pass on a free subscription. So we'll do that later in the week because Jamie is the GOAT. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, the wide receiver room, you're right. I mean, having a wide receiver room, and I did a 3-6-6-3 build in that marathon, and having a wide receiver room completely healthy, you're absolutely right. That was awesome. Yeah, Stephen WC, I probably watched that clip 50 times. I love him. I'm like, okay, if he's getting up and feisty on WWE, can we just put him out there in the brace? I mean, I know we can't, but I absolutely love him. Let me take a sip. man, I give these streamers that do it by themselves the credit because it's hard talking by yourself. Usually when Steve's talking, that's when I check things are working, take a drink, fix my makeup. I'm so not a WWE fan, but I did watch the scattered WWE clips so much. We got big sis Lisa in here. Hi there, Meg. My brother Joey loves sports just as much as you, and says, "What is your favorite sport and why?" And that would definitely be NFL by far. I do work for CBS. I've done work in the past for other as a contractor, and they'll always ask you, "Oh, can you write about baseball or golf?" No, I cannot. It is football only for me. I'm a football only girl, 365 days a year, and that's why I love best ball so much. Is I'll tell other people's bets or picks or whatever. But I can't, handicap other sports. I don't want to do best ball or DFS for other sports, really. I'll tell a couple bets for fun, but it is football only for me. And thank God best ball allows NFL to be 365 days a year. But thank you for joining us, Big Sis Lisa. Make sure to subscribe, watch more. Your brother Joey sounds fun. Tell him to watch too. The Scaboo thing was absolutely hysterical. I got the ponytail sport. I love my ponytail. Definitely love my ponytail. But who do I like in the Bills-Texans game? Let's see. Need to do more research on that. I'll actually be on Sportsline on Thursday morning giving official picks. Then hopefully we'll do a show Thursday. If not, we will definitely do a Substack Thursday, and then I'll have my official picks. But Bills are hard to handicap, very hard to handicap because they just spread it around. It's James Cook, it's Josh Allen, but you don't know, is it going to be a passing game? Is it going to be a running game? Is Josh Allen going to run a lot? Is he going to run for 1 or 2 or 3 touchdowns like he did last week? So we'll get back to you on that. But thank you for the questions. Yes, Jamie, I saw the email, and we will get that open to play on shows later this week, the song that you made for us to play on shows later this week. And Bernie's going to make an open for us. And we are so excited. And again, so grateful to you. No problem, Lisa. Thank you, Jamie. We got our guy Felix in here. Good afternoon. Just checked BBMD, and we are still live somehow. Yes. Okay. So what Felix is talking about is Friends of Best Ball. Every Friday, or most Fridays in the summer, I would draft, and I don't have many BBMs, and I'll show that in a minute here. And I did them mostly. Let me go back to the leaderboards. Best Ball Mania, my name. And as you can see, only did 24 BBMs. It's a total lotto. I wanted to put more into marathon. I only did 24 sprint, but I did a bunch of super flex. I did a bunch of rookie sophomore. I wanted to diversify, right? And do all the other, flagship contests like sprint, again, 53 marathon, a bunch of super flex, a bunch of rookie sophomore. And I wanted to be able to do a lot of those good advanced rate contests. So I just said, I'm going to do a couple on my own, did a few sibling showdown with Steve, and it was like the Friends of Best Ball. So I think I have 2 or 3 with Steve, 2 or 3 on my own, and the rest was Friends of Best Ball. So that's what Felix is talking about. He and I's Friends of Best Ball team, and I'd have to look on, let me bring Underdog in another window to see which team is our team here, Felix. Because as you can see, I had 24 teams, 6 are currently advancing. It's projecting 4 to advance, but 6 are currently advancing. So that's awesome. I know the one on 8:30, I know the one on 7:18 was with Candyman. We'll look at that in a minute. I know the one on 8:30 was mine alone, and that was my last one. So that's cool. And again, I don't have any in the top 10,000 or anything like that. We'll check Steve's and see if he does. On 8/1, it's our mom's birthday. That was with Pat, Fantasy Dog Pound. So I might be able to remember these from the dates. And then I'll need to check. So one of these, the other ones that are advancing is Felix. Felix, if you know the date, let me know. I was just about to pull it up. So while I'm doing that, I'll put the one. This is Candyman and I's team. And this one I do really, really like. We were able to go back to back to back in the middle and get Dak Prescott, Drake May, Justin Herbert, anchored by Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs. I know Jacobs is dealing with an injury, but this should make the playoffs. So if he can come back for playoffs, then Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson's coming back, Jerome Ford, Lamb, Sutton, Debo, Trey Harris, Xavier Legette, Demario Douglas, 2-2. A little top heavy on the receivers, but I still feel like it's solid. And then you've got Kittle, Ertz, Freiermuth. Now with Kittle back, that feels nice. So, really like the quarterback room, running back room, tight end room, and the receivers are a little top heavy, but I still think it could make noise in the best ball playoffs. So that's the top one. My one that I did, and then 8-14. That's Steve and I's sibling showdown, where we did like all the flagship contests. We did Eliminator, Sprint, Marathon, and BBM. And sure enough, our 8-14 Sprint's currently advancing, and this is our 8-14, where we got like a big fall on May and Baker and Herbert. So we have Mayfield, May, Herbert, Gibbs, Cook, double anchor. And then, this is where it hurts, right? Lost Scattaboo. He had contributed 113 points. Caleb Johnson hasn't done anything. JCM started hot and now is faded. So it's like now it feels like we have two running backs. So that's what's tough is as the season progresses when you lose somebody like Scattaboo, who is consistently filling in as a third running back and into your flex. But, running there, besides losing Travis Hunter for the season, you have Ladd McConkey, who before last week was coming on. Mike Evans should be back. Diggs, is looking good. Keenan Allen started hot, kind of falling on dubs. I think there's enough there if Evans comes back strong. And then you got Henry, Gesicki, Freiermuth. So that's Steve and I's sibling showdown 8-14 team. I like that team a lot. So that was, again, the 7-18 team is Candyman. 8-14 team is Steve's sibling showdown. 8-1. This is my only Burrow BBM team. And it's currently advancing with Pat, Fantasy Dog Pound, Burrow, Rogers, Daniel Jones, Kenneth Walker, David Montgomery, Spears, White, Dowdle, which obviously is carrying things in the running back, Chase, who's now suspended for one game, Higgins, DK Metcalf, Pittman, Shaheed, Tillman, Pierce, and McBride, and then Kraft. So just McBride. But that's fun if Burrow does indeed come back. Let me find. Okay, so yes, 7. It's the last one. It does have a lot of injuries. 725. So thank you, Felix. So it's hanging in by 22 points in second place right now, but it does have a lot of injuries. So quarterbacks. Purdy's back now. Purdy, Herbert, Young, Saquon, lost Scattaboo, lost Najee. Tank Bigsby is now Barkley's backup, and Caleb Johnson hasn't done anything. So you really just have Barkley, and you got to hope that Caleb Johnson does something. So that's the bummer about that, because the receivers are fun. Ladd, JSN, Tet, who's coming on, Waddle, Pearsall, Pat Bryant, Keenan Allen, Kincaid, Jatavian Sanders, Jawan Johnson. So it's really just the running backs are decimated. But that was a fun draft, Felix. And we have a chance to move on, and then you never know. You never know in the best ball playoffs. So, all right. So we talked marathon, we talked BBM. Let me check Steve's BBMs here to see, because again, of these 6 teams, only one was just me solo. It was Candyman, Pat, Fancy Dog Pound, Steve's sibling showdown. I'll have to check this one. This one, 8-15, I believe, is Coach Speak Index. Yeah, this is Coach Speak Index. And then Felix, who, again, won the Millie Maker on DraftKings a couple years ago. So very fun to see there. Let me see Steve's BBMs here. He had done 80, I believe. Yeah, 80, advancing 17. So he's advancing 21%. That's good. Anything over 20% in my mind is good. So, and he does have one in the top 10,000, drafted 827. So Brock, Gino, Daniel Jones. So it's very nice that Purdy's back on this one. Double anchored by McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery. Eckler's lost. Samson hasn't done much, but that's nice to have the double anchor of CMC, JT, and then David Montgomery, Higgins, Worthy, Pearsall, Diggs, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, Trey Tucker, who scored last night, Andrews, Zach Ertz, Fannin. Yeah, I like that team. Hopefully it holds in the top 10,000, because top 10,000 does get money. And I think that I do like that. I know some people do, some people don't. I like that the top 10,000 gets something and is obviously tiered there. So Steve's currently advancing 21%. Now let's check out both of our portfolios. And I'll go, oh no, that's my dad, our dad, he has a Husky team that's really fun. Okay, so 272 for me. This is not counting marathon, not counting rookie and sophomore, not counting eliminator, obviously. I'm advancing 66 of 272, so 24.3%. And then if you go through, I'm actually under the field on big board because you should be advancing 20 or 25 is the base, right? Yeah. So 22% on big board, 25% on BBM, 20% sprint, 27. I've been doing really well with the Superflex. So I'm really excited about my Superflex teams, 27% Superflex. And then you'll see, then it breaks down into all these other different, because again, this isn't counting like marathon, rookie, sophomores, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm really happy with some of my Superflex advance rates, 27% in the puppy Superflex. Let me find the other Super Pug, all three of three. And the other one was the German Shepherd. I want to say that's this 40%, I believe. So really happy with that. Again, fun that 25% of BBM, 20% of sprint. And then to me, it's like those good advance rate ones, especially the higher dollar ones. I've fallen off on some of them that I'm bummed about, but there's enough of them that I like. 4 of 20 Poodle, 1 of 10 Pitbull, and the one that's advancing is with Steve. It's a sibling showdown. I got one bigger board. It's a little banged up, so I don't know if it's going to hold, but I hadn't had it. So that's kind of with Kittle back has been nice. Hound Dog 1 of 5, Chow Chow 1 of 4. I believe that's a sibling showdown. Dachshund 2 of 4, Husky 4 of 8. That's the contest I'm doing the best in of all the, especially 12, Pug and up, like $12 and over. That's the one where I really like some teams. I'll show you in a minute. War Room, I'm advancing another one. That's another pre-draft one, the $25 pre-draft. Dalmatian, I lost that one. I saw PPR Tyler and Pat Fancy Dog Pound have like the second highest scoring team, and it's a pretty cool wagon. And then Peter Overzet's first in that one, so that'll be fun to see how that tournament goes. Pug 1 of 3, like I said, 3 of 3 in this Pug Superflex. Bulldog, which was the one I made the finals last year. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get any through. This one that it's like only has 253 points. It's just, with losing Scattaboo, Najee, JCM not doing anything, Chuba now relegated, Neighbors. I mean, it's not happening. So I don't think I'm going to relive the Bulldog finals. I don't even think I'm going to make the Bulldog playoffs of the 4 I did. But again, I really, really like some of these other higher dollar ones, like the 4 Huskies. I think 3 of them I really like. War Room, Chow Chow. What was it? Bigger board's a little beat up. Pitbull, Poodle. So I'll just show a couple of my favorites. The Hyde Poodle one. JJ McCarthy, that's not great, but Drake made JJ McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, CMC JT, and Jacob. So I did like 3 running backs in a row. Tacked on Scattaboo, tacked on Taj Brooks in the last round. DK Metcalf, Ridley's gone now. Addison, Diggs, Pittman, Hopkins, Slayton, Ferguson, Henry, Freiermuth. I feel like outside of quarterbacks outside of May don't feel super strong, but running back feels amazing. Receiver feels solid, and tight end feels solid. So I kind of like that one. I feel like I like the Pitbull that this is a Steve and I team. Dak, JJ, Darnold, who's obviously has some big games in him. JT Swift, Scattaboo's gone. Rashad White, Rashad Smith, and Kyle Monangai. Monangai, obviously, with that kind of goal line role, is kind of fun. Hunter's gone, but Lamb, Harrison, Addison, Keenan Allen, and then the Ferguson Kittle. I think there's something there. I want to say this Chow Chow's a sibling showdown as well. I'm pretty sure. In what world did we think Jefferson would be doing as bad as he is? But JJ McCarthy's just been bad. But Caleb, JJ McCarthy, Cam Ward, JT, David Montgomery, Jordan Mason, and then the rest of the running backs aren't doing much. But I mean, it's still getting by with these receivers. Jefferson, Devontae has obviously been awesome. J-Mo's coming on. Rome, I need him to come on, especially for marathon. Romeo Doubs, Hopkins, Coker is back, Hawkinson, Loveland. So, but some of my favorites, let me go to the Husky. This is just showing the highest score. This is, I think, my favorite Husky. May, Goff, Rodgers, and then I handcuffed the Lions running backs. Gibbs, David Montgomery. So I did Gibbs, Taylor, Hampton, who hopefully comes back, Montgomery, Chris Rodriguez, who now is kind of unseeded JCM is getting more work. JMO, DK Metcalf, Diggs, Pittman, Dubs, Hopkins, Coker, Metcalf, Diggs, I have in my marathon, so I'm already rooting them on. Ferguson, I do as well. Henry, Jonnu. So I like this team a lot. I think it's really creative with the both Lions running backs, and I want to give some more thought to that next best ball season, because I think that can be pretty powerful. So let me check Steve real quick, and then we will go and talk week 12, because the guys are going to be coming on in less than 30 minutes. So let's check out Steve's portfolio. Of course, 1,600 teams, advancing 382. I know at one point he had over 400. So I know he's probably bummed that he's lost a little. And again, I think Scatterboo has been a body blow for us, not just in marathon, but certainly rookie sophomores massively. I mean, I had like a 40% advance rate over 50 teams, and now it's down to 20% rookie sophomore. We were getting them a lot in Superflex. Obviously, we had them all in these playoff formats and marathon. So I think the Scatterboo thing is being felt more each week. But, hopefully we're still pushing through, 23% or more. So he's 23.5%, 382 teams. And, has some solid advance rates in the sprint, which I think that's really fun. We talked about it, just like you got to walk to run, you have to advance to sprint. And he's got a 27% advance rate, 30 right now, 30 big board, 27 puppy Superflex. Let's see, 30 sprint, 17 of the 80, so 21% BBM, which we already talked about. Let me see. I think what he had been excited about is a lot of his higher dollar teams, 25% in the Poodle, but in the higher dollar teams, 7 of 20 Husky. That's awesome. 3 of 10 Pitbull, 1 Chow Chow, 2 of 5 Hound Dog, 1 of 4 Rottweiler, 1 of 4 Rottweiler Superflex, 2 of 3 Dalmatian. That's massive. Let's check out his highest dollar Dalmatian team. Hertz, Dak, Young, JT, Jacobs, Caleb Johnson, Ramondre, I think is expected back, Braylon Allen, Lamb, Devonta Smith, Diggs, Trey Harris, Bateman, Tillman, Thielen, Otten, Jatavian Sanders, and Jawan Johnson. So, we're just looking at the highest score here. So again, I know it's important for him to advance and give himself a shot in those higher dollar tournaments because they have really good advance rates, kind of a cleaner path to finals and everything. So yeah, he's got 3 of 4 Bulldog, 2 of 3 Dalmatian, a couple of Rottweilers, 1 of 9 Chow Chow, but 3 of 10 Pitbull, and 7 of 20 Huskies. So like that. Let me check out his highest dollar Bulldog, 1489. That's a good score. Wow. Yeah, I remember looking at this with him. Allen, Dak, May. So just hammered quarterback, hammered running back. Barkley, JT, Kenneth Walker, Scatterboo, who would still given him 88 points even with that stable of running backs. Pickens, Diggs, Myers, Pittman, Kyle Williams, Dubs, Atwell, Henry, Gesicki, Otten. I think when people say, "Oh, if you spend on quarterback, you can't get 3," or he got 3 good ones, and then you can't, if you double anchor, you can't get 3. Well, he had 4 good ones. Obviously Walker's been, I think, disappointing for where he's drafted, but he still has the power to put up good weeks in a playoff format. So probably of all the teams I've looked at, Steve, this is my favorite. And hey, maybe. I made the Bulldog finals, finished 5th last year. Maybe Steve is in the Bulldog finals and makes a run this year because I freaking love this team. So yeah, but again, bottom line, 23.5% with a massive volume is really, really, really good. So any other questions about that, let me know, put it in chat, and then we will move over and look at his Underdog rankings. So let me pull that over. We'll look at his Underdog rankings here. So let me catch up with chat first, and then I'll bring over his rankings. Again, I will post that after this show, again, at around 6 o'clock. Spread and Tyler are going to be joining me. We will talk through the week 12. Whoa, I went back 3 weeks. Week 12 slate, and they'll do their typical NFL betting card sides and totals and bets that they like early in the week. Let me catch up with chat, and then I'll bring over Steve's rankings. And again, look for it if you are a Substack sub, that it will be posted here about an hour after I get off. So yeah, we already checked out Felix's. And I's team on 725. Mike says both 6 Steve in chat and Meg, when are we drafting some playoff best ball? Yeah, so let me mention that too. So obviously they launched the too early playoff best ball. I don't know how Steve feels. Steve and I have definitely done playoff best ball together, both on stream together, just like, hanging out. I'll bring spread in a minute. But it's not something that I do high volume because you're always based on your results, right? I've had, decent best ball results. And so I've leaned into that. And, you lean into what I've had, okay playoff best ball results, but it's not something that I felt like it's my go-to and I want to do that much volume. So I'm sure Steve will eventually have rankings by the time they get the other tournament, like the gauntlet and the mitten. I'm sure Steve will do best ball playoff rankings, but I don't know that it's going to be something that I do a ton of content for personally. But I'll bring spread on in a minute. We can talk about that because playoff best ball, it's really like handicapping, who you think is going to make the playoffs, who you think is going to make the Super Bowl meets best ball, right? So again, we will cover it here on the channel. I'm sure all of us will cover it on the channel. Steve will have rankings eventually, but it's never been as much as some other people love it. I like it. I don't love it, but we'll do it. We'll cover it. I promise. Steve said he'll be ready. And he does a lot on drafters because then you don't have to, it's cumulative scoring, right? So you don't have to worry about that. And get better for that for sure. Okay, so Hulk Master Potato says, trying to take advantage of the default ADP for playoff best ball. We'll dial it down after today. Yeah, so obviously just released, so ADPs will start to shift and settle. So that makes a ton of sense. I'll turn this off. I'll bring in spread, and then I can talk underdog rankings and do a couple drafts before we shift over to the NFL betting card side. Spread, how are you doing?
Great. I was thinking we haven't done a show together. You've been watching me. I've been watching you. Tyler gets to party with you every Friday.
Yes.
It's probably been close to a year. So good to see you today.
It has been. I think we jumped on a couple times as best ball season was approaching to kind of talk about our thoughts from last season and that kind of stuff. Yeah. We did on the draft night, right? I think we jumped on. But yeah, it's spread. I don't get to hang with you much. Makes me sad. Tuesdays are like my regrouping days, honestly. So that's why I never jump on with you guys. Tuesdays are like my day of like, whew, okay, regroup, start to like pound the research for the next week and that kind of stuff. But we didn't do a show yesterday. So I said I'd fill in for Steve today. And I haven't even done an underdog draft yet. So do you mind if I look at Steve's rankings? And then, so I'm going to pull over Steve's rankings. And again, these will be posted here after I jump off this show. Because again, after we look at rankings, rip a draft or two, then Spread and Tyler are going to be talking about week 12. Then I will send you these wonderful rankings of Steve's, but let me just bring them over in his Google Doc here. So again, week 12 slate, got some buys. What is it? Commanders, Chargers. I'm blanking. There's 4 teams on buy and I'm blanking on the other 2. I knew Washington and Chargers. Broncos.
Dolphins.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. The 2 international teams. Okay. So if you're looking at Steve's Google Doc here, we got quarterbacks, Drake May, Lamar Jackson, Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, and Jacoby Brissett, who has been putting up some massive numbers. Other top plays, Dak, Darnold, Caleb Williams, Daniel Jones, sleepers, Jackson Dart. It looks like Jackson Dart's going to get cleared. Flacco, Shuck, Love, and Kirk Cousins is now going to be taking over for Penix. Okay, running backs. We've got JT, and I'm just going to read through. I'm not going to read his stuff. Again, go check that out on Substack. I will be posting that about an hour after I get off the show. JT, Gibbs, Bijan, Henry, Travion Henderson, Barkley, Judkins, Kenneth Walker, Etienne, Kamara, Swift, Javante. So looks fairly deep there. I don't know the status of Josh Jacobs for this week. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And then receivers, JSN, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins. Obviously, Chase looks to be out and suspended. That was wild. Rashee Rice, Lamb, obviously going against the Eagles, Diggs, Pickens, J-Mo, Olave, AJ Brown, Michael Wilson, Roma Dunze, DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith, Justin Jefferson, Jacoby Myers. And then tight ends, Trey McBride, who has been dominating, Travis Kelce, Tyler Warren, who these 2 Colts Chiefs, that'll be a big one that I'm sure Tyler and Spread will be talking about, Brock Bowers, Jawan Johnson, and Mark Andrews. Any thoughts on Steve's rankings, Steve, as I then pull over Underdog to rip a draft or 2 here?
No, they're looking pretty good. I mean, JSN continues to vault to the top of the board. It hurts my heart, but he's absolutely correct with the quarterback and offensive line play there. Brock Bowers, although I'd argue he's still the best tight end in football if you put him in a real situation,
Geno
deserves to be
stinks.
fourth there.
Geno
Yeah, I
stinks,
mean,
Fred. I needed him to push back more last night for some bets I had. Holy cow! Do you think
no,
that'll
I
be a
mean,
one? Do you think that'll be a
yeah,
one and done with Geno? I mean, it's looking rough.
yeah, I think it's going to have to. They might
Can
have
they
to
get
move
out
on
of it?
from Carroll too. I think they'll just have to eat the cap hit. I mean, I don't know if you can go into another season with the locker room feeling that way, right? I mean,
Right. I mean,
none of those guys have come out and said it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people on the defensive side of the ball that are pretty frustrated.
I thought I'd have time to rip a playoff best ball draft, but I think it's more important we talk week 12. There's plenty of time to rip playoff best ball drafts. And I have to tell a superstitious story, Spread. I don't know that I'll be able to do playoff best ball drafts on stream until like the best ball play. I am so superstitious. Like I couldn't do any of those second, third, fourth quarter because it's like I didn't want any of the team of my players that are like doing well for me, or especially now on my marathon that's doing well. I didn't want to draft any of them. I thought it would be like bad luck or something. So I'll probably do a lot of mine, but I know Steve, once he gets back to his Tuesday show, we'll be doing playoff best ball on this very show on Tuesdays. And I'm sure we'll do them. I'm sure, I don't know if you and Tyler intend to, I'm sure Andrew and Justin will. So we will do a lot of playoff best ball. I promise you. And again, playoff best ball, it's really handicapping who you think is going to kind of go through the playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl, as well as, the best ball side of it. So we will get
and
there.
it's so tough too. Let's just say you like Philadelphia, but you don't get any of those players in the wild card round. And I'm assuming they have the number one seed, right? I remember that happened to me where I had this bomb team, but I was so far behind after the wild card round.
Yeah.
Couldn't
exactly.
So there's a nice balance between taking who you think is going to make it to the Super Bowl, and then you got to get a good wild card group in there as well to make sure you're still alive after that first weekend.
Well, that's what's always hurt me is I've kind of projected some of the one seeds not to make it. So I've leaned into the teams that do play wild card weekend. And it's like, okay, well, I have a great advanced week then, but then it just pitters out because, like the last couple of years, wasn't Eagles Chiefs both the one seed? No, Lions had the one seed, right? Yeah, I believe Lions had the one seed. So yeah, I have not done as well the last couple of years. I've had one or two playoff finals teams. Again, I've had some like minorly fun cashes, but it's not something some people get so pumped for playoff best ball. I like it. I just don't, lean into as hard as other people, but I promise you, we will cover it a ton on this channel. I promise you. So let's Spread. I'll like mark these down. We can draft these together. And let's try to rip a couple of the Battle Royale as like an early look here. So anybody that wants to jump into the Battle Royale week 12 with us, Mike, I know you like a long countdown. So I'm going to count it down and jump in with us starting at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter, confirm, and it's okay. We're in waiting on 3. So if you want to join us, you should be able to join us. Again, we took a look at week 12 rankings from Steve. It'll be up on our Substack here in an hour or so. And we're waiting on 3. If you want to join us, be sure to get in with us. Yeah, Hulk Mashed Potatoes mentioned about taking advantage of the default ADP because it's going to shift once more volume gets down on these. That's, of course, for the playoff best ball. We got our guy Eddie in here. Injuries have killed off most of my damn lineups. They're worth a damn FML. Eddie, it just takes one, it just takes one. So keep the hope alive. But yes, this season has been brutal with that. Mike Robb loves this crazy crossover. Yes, Brett and I used to do shows on Run Pure together. We used to do more shows on here together. It's just the way the schedule goes. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are like my day to regroup and kind of cram on research. So I don't often jump on Tuesdays, but it is very nice to get to talk with my friend Spread here. Of course, he's giving you a hard time back from the early.
Well, I was going to say, check out the flannel I got on Mike Robb. The one I've been checking out is called Lumberjacks. They got a good early bird special too. I don't know if you have Lumberjacks out there, but found one out here. Recommended by a coworker, and thumbs up for that.
Okay, thumbs up. You 5 stars. Yeah. How are you liking the new house, Spread?
Oh, I'm loving it. But boy, I had the worst luck last week, Meg. I came home from work and a tree had fallen and totaled my car.
Oh,
and the
no,
worst part about it was, Yeah, the worst part about it is I usually don't park there. I just got home and I was tired. And I'm like, I'll just park right here. So, but other than that, things are going great.
Okay. Other than that, things are going great. Okay.
I'm still adjusting to living in the middle of the forest. I'm right on the border of Tahoe National Forest. So,
okay.
It's so funny. I was talking about it at work, and it's kind of like a normal thing. They're like, "Oh yeah, that happened to Tommy over there 2 months ago," and I mean, it's just.
Okay, now Mike Robb feels bad. He doesn't want to do any scissors.
No, Mike, I appreciate the roasting me. It's I didn't turn the heat on in the house today, so make sure you bring these fire roasts for me, Mike.
Okay, perfect. So we do have Mike in here. I don't recognize anybody else. We are at the 4-spot spread by ADP here. Again, this is a week 12 battle royale. It's JT, Gibbs, JSN, Bijan, ASB, and then McBride. I think that makes sense. I don't see anything that seems too wild there. If you could get anybody you want, who would you get?
I would take Gibbs. I think Gibbs should be number one just with that matchup against the Giants.
The Giants, he's going to go, but I'll cue him.
He's going to go. And then
he's going to go to our guy, Mike, I'm sure. Yeah.
Assuming JSN gets taken. I mean, Bijan at 4, to me, that's a clear delineation there.
Yeah,
he's got to get a lot of work there with Cousins going out. And just watching him, he might be the best pure runner of the football. I know Taylor puts up better stats. But he's amazing, and how disappointing.
What's so frustrating this season is how much Algier has vultured him. That's what's been so frustrating.
On the touchdowns. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just wild. Yeah.
But I mean, if you just sorted his receptions, he'd probably be a top 30.
Okay, they took Bijan. Would you rather JSN or?
Then I think JSN's I think that's an easy one, don't you?
Against Tennessee. Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing you worry about is like, does the game just get so out of hand? But like, he puts up just such massive volume that, he could have what he needs for you by the third quarter.
The other thing, coming off that weird loss, I wonder if they try, not necessarily make a statement, but grab some positive vibes around the building.
Sure.
With really just getting that offense back on track. So that's why I like that there. Trey McBride goes ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Another one that's just been getting so much volume.
Okay, and then at the top of the board is Travion Henderson against Cincinnati, who you can do whatever you want against Cincinnati. And then Derrick Henry, Lamb just went, and then Rice. So what are you liking here next spread at pick number 9?
Yeah, Henry kind of came back alive last week, right? And he's really been a boomer bust guy.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the Henry call. Do you want to do that over Travion? Because I think, isn't there a chance that Ramondre comes back?
I love Travion. I'm just wondering if maybe this is the high point, right? I mean, coming off that huge performance. And I know Cincinnati's bad, but
I think there's a chance. I thought there was a chance. Let me see if it's in here. Ramondre, what is it? In line to practice Wednesday. So, I think there's a chance. And I'm not saying it's going to go back to like, whatever it was, as far as like the split percentage, like I'm sure Travion's earned more of a role, but I don't think I wanted to draft him at 9. I agree. Henry was the right call there. So Travion went after us. Mike got Rice. Boy, that's going to be a big real life game that you and Tyler are going to be talking about. Colts Chiefs, obviously.
I'll be interested. I think we're going to be opposite there. So that one should be fun for us to discuss. Now, how do you like the stacking in the Battle Royale? As I see May Diggs going here at number 1, is that a strategy you go for? I'm usually not too concerned with it.
I do low volume. So like I just sprinkle in a few drafts. So it's not like I have a ton of volume to speak to, but I know it's a lot of people do, but I know Pete Overzet and the Badge Bros guys put out like a masterclass, and it was kind of, just from what I heard, that it's not like you have to force it, right? And you certainly don't want to overstack because you need like the 99th percent outcome. So we got Hurts and Lamar at the top. I don't think we want to go Lamar. We got Higgins without Chase. I'll throw that out there.
I kind of like Higgins a lot. I mean, he's going to be a target monster, and Flacco's not afraid.
If he's indeed suspended,
guys involved.
I think that makes sense there.
It's tough leaving Lamar there on the board.
But that's my point, right? Henry. Yeah, that's my point is, okay, Yeah, they could put up 40 some points against the Jets, I suppose, though it was not pretty watching their offense last week. But if they put up 40 some points, okay, maybe it is. But if you need like the 90th percent outcome, of Henry, you may not be getting that of Lamar unless they're putting up an insane number. So I don't typically, that's one thing I definitely don't typically do. I do it in
ping
baseball.
pong here, right? Yeah, in baseball makes sense.
Yeah, you ping pong through the season, but in this, I don't do it as much or really much at all. So
Shanbox's team, I'm worried about this matchup for both of these guys.
Wait,
Lamb and Hurts, the guy right behind us, Shanbox.
Oh, gotcha.
Lamb,
yeah.
I mean, I think that Philadelphia defense, with the way that they've added to that defensive line, Jalen Phillips and Brandon Graham coming out of retirement. I mean, now they're the best defensive line in football, and I think that's going to make it hard. I mean, it's going to be a little different playing against the Raiders. And then Hurts has not been lighting the world on fire.
No. Let's see what Shanbox does here. He stacks that up even more. Okay, so we are
interesting that he's going for that game. Although they did have a shootout a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, AJ Brown, Mahomes, Kelsey, JMO. I don't mind JMO, or actually, I usually like 3 running backs. But what do you like?
I like JMO or Kelsey.
What are the other tight ends? You're called.
Yeah, let's push tight end back. Let's go JMO.
Okay. So we went Henry and 3 receivers, and then that gives us the option if we want to go Goff, because other than that, you're talking as far as stacking options, you're talking Darnold and sure. I mean it could be Flacco, but the last 2 performances. What did he have the week before? Oh no, Chicago was the big one. That's right. When he was injured, he had the really solid 3 weeks, and then this week was very disappointing. So yeah, we basically need quarterback and tight end here with our last 2 picks. I think
and it kind of shows some. It's not just scouting, right? We always talk about how Steve is so good at watching these players. But situation matters, and we've seen Dan Campbell take over, and all of a sudden Jameson Williams, and I was kind of because I was exactly not as high on him as you guys, and I go, I was right about Jameson Williams, and now it's like, well, no, he might be a league winner because it looks like if you're in the playoffs, he's going to be. The other one that's the opposite to me is Puka Nacua losing all his target shares. Now they've gone to that 13 personnel,
right?
Because now Devontae Adams has become the primary thing, and it's not like Puka Nacua got worse at football over the last 6 weeks. It's just situationally, McVay's decided to go for the 13. Adams becomes the primary target, and Nacua went from like neck and neck with JSN for the top of that wide receiver 1, and now it looks like it's Adams. right. For just this format, I might have Adams this week, because if they're going to keep running that 13 personnel, shows you how much the coaching and the schemes also going, not just a player evaluation.
You're so right. It is about schemes and that kind of stuff. And I was just going to point that out when we picked JMO, is now that Dan Campbell's taken over play calling, that is, like you said, it feels like, and I'm kind of bummed. I want to look back at the BBM DB and see how many JMO teams am I pushing through, because it could be really fun and play. They're like in a dome the rest of the way. Okay, did you want to go Goff and stack them up, or what?
Let's stack up JMO. I love targeting that Giants defense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then we just take a tight end. I'll pull up tight end. So it's Goddard, Juwan Johnson, Hunter Henry. We didn't take a Patriot, so you could certainly do that. Oh, yeah, wait. Tight ends against Cincinnati.
Henry.
Tight ends against Cincinnati destroy. If he's still there, to me, that is my favorite pick. I thought I was like under the big stance of there's been some more good, coach speak, Roger speak for Pat Freiermuth. He had that massive game against Cincinnati earlier on Thursday Night Football. And it ended up being the big Darnell Washington had like 70 yards. He was just like bowling people over. So Pat Freiermuth got like 119.
Darnell Washington looks like a player I would make if I was playing on Madden or something. Like just big and you can't tackle him and you just run straight forward.
Where did Steve have Henry ranked on his tight end?
He had him an honorable mention because I was surprised.
Steve,
a little higher.
I think he needs to be in the top 6, Steve. I think he needs to be in the top 6. I think this is a scroll down that could
but I guess the numbers against Atlanta must be real bad, because I was surprised to see he put Juwan Johnson in there at 5. So that has to be. I mean, I know Johnson's good, but that has to be matchup, right, with Atlanta just missing all those linebackers.
Yeah, it must be. Come on. Okay, you have one. Sandbox has a tight end, so hopefully you don't take a second one, and then we can get Henry here. Because I like this team. Let's look at Mike's team too. So we land with Goff, Henry, JSN, T. Higgins, JMO, Henry, and then Hunter Henry. Great matchup against Bengals. Goff.
So you can see we're playing situation. Look at all the defenses we went against.
Yeah,
the only one
Giants, Jets,
that's
Tennessee.
good is New England. And then we're just going target share there.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Oh my God, you're so right.
Defenses. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I like to do this contest. Same with when I do my player props, and maybe I'll join you on the prop party one of these days. I mean,
you should.
I'm
anytime
barely
you
even
want.
looking at these players. I'm usually trying to go against Cincinnati. Now Dallas is shored up. Adding Quentin Williams, getting the Overshawn guy back. They got a safety back, Malik Hooker. They added Logan Thomas, who I think is all right. I don't know if that affected that much, but that might not be just the instant feastable defense that it used to be, right? But I want to target Cincinnati, Tennessee, some of these teams that have
I'm the same way. I mean, like, of course, like target share and red zone target share and first read target share and all those things are super important, or usage in the backfield and everything. All that's important, but I'm the same way as you, Spread. When it comes to player props or this, I'm like totally hyper focused on matchup, and I think we nailed it with targeting the Giants, the Jets, the Titans, and Cincinnati and the Bengals. I mean, I love this team. Spread. I hope we print money this week, and I will split it with you. So let's look at Mike's team from the 2 spot. Danny Dimes or Indiana Jones, whatever you want to call him. Jameer Gibbs, Rashee Rice, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, and Brock Bowers. Yeah, that's a strong team.
Let's talk about this team real quick, because this team to me seems like he's drafting out priors. He's not going to be swayed by recent results. And the first one I want to talk about is Daniel Jones. Just sort him by the last 3 weeks, and he's kind of the average guy that we expected all year. When on the DK drafts, I think at least half of our teams, we were getting him. We'd get 2 quarterbacks we liked, and then we'd push the last one back to 18th, 19th, 20th round. And Jones was usually still around, right? I mean, that's where our priors were on him.
Right.
It seems like he's returning there. Gibbs, I think, is just a smash. Washing him against Philadelphia. And I just told you how much I love that Philadelphia defense and his ability to continue.
He had 110 yards receiving. I mean, they just that was amazing.
He's just such a stud. He's so dangerous in the open field. I love Rashee Rice with the target share. AJ Brown, though, is one that has really had inconsistent production. And I just talked about, I don't know if this Dallas defense is the, insta fade, insta target on props and stuff. So I'll be interested to see with AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson. Man, with JJ McCarthy back there, this offense looks terrible. I mean, you can't figure out just to throw to him every time. Yeah, and you can see Jefferson, and it didn't happen last week. I thought he showed good effort last week, especially there was a rushing touchdown that Jordan Mason had, where Jefferson really was just a beast on the block. His lead block on the corner opened that up for Mason. So I said, okay, that's good effort, right? The week before, though, McCarthy threw an interception. Jefferson could have easily tackled the corner, and he didn't even bother. That made the interception. I wonder about Jefferson there. This is one of those ones that you looked at the beginning of the season, right? I mean, this just looks fantastic. AJ and JJ, both some concerns. But I like the fact that he's sticking to the priors and not just overreacting to everything he saw in red zone last week. And who's his tight end?
Let me see. Your guy, Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I mean,
another one
part
with
of that
the
is
quarterback.
Just,
Jefferson and Bowers are the same, right? I mean, I could argue Jefferson is the very best wide receiver in the NFL, and I can argue Bowers is the very best tight end in the NFL. And the quarterback situation is just so poor. I don't know. And then, we talked about targeting bad defenses. That Cleveland defense is unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had a modicum of just an average offense, they'd be a playoff team. I mean, that defense is fantastic. We'll see how we do with Mike Robb. I'll be rooting for you out there, especially on that Bowers pick. But I mean, big name over situations.
I'll be interested to see what you guys say about the Indy Chiefs game and if you think it could be high scoring or low scoring. But obviously, he got a lot of good value by getting Rice and Gibbs. Early he was able to get Jefferson, AJ Brown, and Danny Dimes late. So like that. But that was fun. Let's do one more. But we got to say hi to our guy Tyler first. Again, the collab you guys didn't know you needed on this Tuesday evening. I did a little bit of best ball talk and did a lot of best ball talk actually, because I mean, we're down to 6 weeks now. So did a lot of best ball portfolio talk and talking about, what's to come there and what we're sweating out. And then talked about Steve's rankings. And then Spread and I have ripped our first draft. We have to at least give the people 2 drafts. So this draft will be a 3-team draft. But Tyler, how are you doing? How are you feeling about week 12?
I'm feeling good. I mean, to be honest, I really haven't even looked at week 12. So this will be a first look for me.
But that's
look at in the draft because I got some picks but I don't love them.
I mean, sometimes that works better for me just doing it as an initial look. So
I think when Steve and I do an early look show on Mondays, I have not looked at the slate at all. And I hadn't really for this looking at Steve's rankings. And this first draft was the first time I had looked at week 12 as far as Underdog, the Underdog dailies are concerned. And then, as far as the slate, I've glanced, but I haven't studied it. And again, that's what Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are for me, is just cramming and studying and all the stats to then try to make the best decisions I possibly can. But let's do one more draft. And then if you guys want to ask me any week 12 questions before I get out of here, you're certainly welcome to do that. And then it'll be the NFL betting card you guys always know and love. If anybody wants to jump in with us, we are going to do one more Battle Royale. We'll team 3-person Battle Royale. So I'll pull it up here. I'll count it down from 10. We got Mike in the last one. Hopefully Mike or anybody that wants to join us, I'll count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter. And we're rolling and we're waiting on 1. So if you'd like to join us, get on in there. It's filled. Let's see what pick number we got this time. We have pick number 3. So we were 4 last time. We got Coolers and Mike in here. So perfect. Coolers is at 1. We're at 3. Mike's at 5. This will be fun. So last time we got JSN. So I will defer to my team here, who we take here at 3. So,
is this just the rest of the season, or is this?
No.
This is week 12. This is week 12.
Just week 12. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the Underdog dailies. I either do the Wildcat or the Battle Royale. This is the big Battle Royale. So, maybe I'll be splitting $50,000 with you guys. That wouldn't suck. Actually, I
could use it after losing my car.
Oh, that's right. Spread. I'm so sorry about that. I mean, I assume you've already contacted insurance and all that.
How'd you lose the car, Spread? You get hit?
A tree fell on. I'll send you the picture.
Oh, the tree.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, a tree knocked me out.
Okay, we are starting. Coolers is on the clock. So I mean, if Gibbs falls, that would be a no-brainer. If you want to mix it up and take, okay, so Gibbs does fall.
We have to take Gibbs.
It's either Gibbs or Bijan.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm surprised he took St. Brown at number 2. I think that the Giants' pass defense is better than their rushing defense. I mean, we talked about the problem with those, but we've talked about those defensive ends, right? It's like they have 4 edge rushers.
Yeah.
Which is why against the pass they can look awesome, because they can drop 7 back every single time and still get pressure. But then you look at them as a balanced defense. So it's like we got 4 rushers. We don't have any. They don't have really have a nose tackle. I mean, if they were better,
they got Bijan at 5, which is awesome.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I think to get them at 5 is great. So Tyler, we were talking Travion's ranked really high. And again, ADPs need to settle. Hulk Mashed Potatoes mentioned that about playoff best ball, but also any weekly. And when you're first getting in there, the ADPs settle more. And I think Ramondre's back this week. He's supposed to practice tomorrow. So, okay, we're back on the clock, and it is Travion, Lamb, Hurts, May, Bowers. What do you guys want to do?
Drake May's going to light that defense up.
Yeah, I was going to say Drake May too.
I would love that. I love my guy. I love Drake May.
Because I think everyone above him on that list, I have concerns about all of them. Travion just seems a little bit over. I know he looks
seems overpriced for the fact that Ramondre will be back. And I know it's a good matchup. Everything's a good matchup against the Bengals, but I think that's a little overpriced. And then that Eagles Cowboys game, I think could be more of a slugfest. But I mean, I think if you could get Lamb here, I think that's fine. Like if Coolers took Lamb, I don't mind that. But yeah, I think with May,
Coolers took Trevion. He's not buying it. He says Ramondre is going to be no vulturing going on here.
I mean, I will say it is a great match. You know, Bengals run defense is terrible too, just like their pass or their tight end thing. So we got Hunter Henry in the last draft, Tyler. If we can get him stacked with May, I'd be pretty pumped about that. So I definitely don't want to go Bowers here if that's okay with you, Spread.
No, I think we stay away from that Cleveland defense.
Yeah. So it's then Lamb. You could do the run back, or no, Higgins just went. Okay, so
at this point, I think Lamb's viable as a third round pick. I mean, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. If what's that, Tyler?
These elite receivers do good against these corners. I mean,
okay, so you guys are both fine with Lamb.
I like it
at this price. Yeah, I just didn't like them.
Second, like
compared to the guys we were looking at earlier.
Imagine starting your DFS lineup with those three. How much money you get to spend afterwards? So
you'd have like $3,000 to spend. So starting Gibbs, May, Lamb. Cooler starts JT, Henderson, Lamar. Mike starts Bijan, Rice, Mahomes stacked up. So yeah, I think 3 nice looks for all of us here. Let's
interesting going against that Indy defense, through the air. All right.
Wait, is Indy? I'm trying to think. Is Indy better, or is it better to attack them through the air or the ground? Air, right?
That's what I thought. I thought they were really stout against the run, and they kind of
right. So yeah, then I like that for Mike. Then
okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah. My guy Roma Dunze, I like that for Pickens and Dunze. It's sneaky, right? Those aren't like the big names like from our first round of best ball drafts, but those guys have really been coming on.
They're on my.
I can't wait to talk to Tyler about that Chicago game.
Okay, we are up. And if we want to save Hunter Henry, we don't take Tyler Warren, but it's up to you guys. Diggs,
I think we save him.
Okay, so Diggs, Javonte
Williams.
We
do the stack that we talked about earlier?
What stack was that?
May
Diggs.
Big.
Yeah. Of course. What was I thinking? We have Drake May.
Well, because I noticed the guy in our other draft had done that, and
yes. That's what I was trying to think. I was like, wait, what stack did we talk about earlier? Yeah, so we get the Drake May Diggs stack. We've got Gibbs, Lamb. We're hoping to get Hunter Henry if we want to double stack it.
Tyler's gonna hate this, but I don't mind ETN here with Tootin rolling that ankle.
I like that. I mean, Arizona's rush defense is better than their pass defense, but I mean, they just haven't looked good over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I don't mind Devontae Smith though to get the 1v1 with CD Lamb in that game.
Your guys' choice. 9 seconds. You guys choose ETN or Devontae.
I vote Travis, but we'll defer to Tyler.
I'd rather take Devontae.
Devontae then.
Right at the buzzer. Right at the buzzer, we got it, and now it's just.
I just thought that. Did you see? I thought they ran the ball really well last week, and I know that Chargers defense isn't like elite, but it felt like there was a commitment to it. I think maybe Cohen's realizing what he has in Trevor, and then he's not going to end up being the guy to light the world on fire. So instead of trying to make him Patrick Mahomes, you make him Alex Smith. Let him manage the game, and I think it works because. As bad as he is, you're not going to do better. I don't like the draft class this year at all. I don't know how much you and Steve.
Yeah, I saw someone talking about the draft class and that this year's quarterback class. Henry went. Okay, so what do we want for tight end? Goddard, Juwan Johnson, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews against the Jets. Juwan Johnson.
I don't that all. Steve had Juwan Johnson pretty high. Maybe we should listen to Steve.
You guys choose.
ETN was still on the board.
Yeah, but we
need a tight end.
We just need a tight end. That's it.
It's our last pick.
Just the last pick. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Yeah. Andrews or Johnson? Your guys' choice. 3 seconds.
Johnson.
Oh shit! Did I get it?
Do we get it?
Yeah. There we go.
All right. Cool.
Yes, Steve's rankings were McBride, Kelsey, Warren, Bowers, Juwan Johnson, Andrews. So you have them right there. Goddard, Henry, Ferguson is how he had it.
So how do these 6 people draft work? How do these work? Because we only have one running back.
Right. So you can do it's start quarterback, one running back, 2 receivers, 1 flex. So we did our flex was a receiver.
Okay. I see it.
And then 1 tight end. So that's why we had to take a tight end because we had 1, 3. So yeah. So we end up with May, Gibbs, Lamb, Diggs, Devonta Smith, Juwan Johnson. So I'm glad we got the dig stack since we didn't get the Henry double stack. We weren't able to run back like, Higgins or anybody from Bengals, but have it like a Lamb, Devonta Smith, Skinny, and Gibbs against the Giants. I absolutely love this. What do you guys think?
I like it.
Yes, pretty good. We're really banking on that Philly game not being another 16-6.
Everyone's thrown against Dallas though. So worst case scenario, Philly runs up a lead, and I mean they did move the ball through air. He threw for almost 250 yards. So
I was going to say, what did Geno end up with? Despite that's not a fun watch, he did end up north of 250.
It was like 240 something. It was close.
There's so many of those prevent garbage yards, right? I mean,
it's still yards. It's still yards.
For this
still fantasy
game, yeah.
points.
Yeah.
I guess with all those new additions Dallas got, they didn't try to run at all. They barely ran. And I know their offensive line is so banged up too, spread. But let's look at the two other guys' drafts real quick, catch up with chat, and then we'll pivot over to, essentially NFL betting card. You can ask me any week 12 questions before I get out of here, and then you guys can do your thing. Coolers from the one spot, Lamar Jackson, JT, Travion Henderson, Zay Flowers, Justin Jefferson, and Travis Kelce. I like that. So I'm trying to see here. He's got like a little JT Kelce skinny going on there. And obviously Mar stacked with Flowers there. So that's fun. And then we already went over our team. And then Mike from the 5 spot went Mahomes, Bijan, Rice, J-Mo, who we got in the draft before, Pittman. So he's got a little Rice Pittman, and then Hunter Henry, who we talked about, great matchup against the Bengals defense. So yeah, I honestly, for all different reasons, I like all 3 of our drafts. So I think that was fun there. Let me catch up with chat here. And then we can talk a little week 12 NFL betting card before I get out of here and you guys do your thing. But let me see. Yeah, Coolers finished high in the Wildcat this past week. So he said, where did he finish? Yeah, he finished 16th on Sunday and top 10 last week. Coming close. Can't see if we can get the final push. Coolers, we believe in you. You're close there at 16 and 10. So really high finishes. Congratulations, but hopefully you do push it all the way to the top there. So that's awesome. Congrats on that. And it says it's tough when all the money is basically in the top 3 spots. And a lot of those things are, very, very top loaded for sure. So, okay. And yeah, good to see. I think I said this earlier, but good to see you in here, our guy Eddie as well. All right. And so now we're talking week 12. You guys are going to do your NFL betting card. This has just been a collab combo show, which I think is super fun. And I like seeing you guys, of course, because I usually don't get to on a Tuesday. So this is fun. Any questions for me on the week 12 slate?
Yeah. Let me start this off, Jamie. Meg, Jamie's turned this show into almost a half Packers podcast. But we have no problems talking about our favorite teams here. Obviously, as a Commanders fan, you have to be disappointed with the season. What are you looking forward to? So you're not surprised. And what do you think the team should do for next year? And kind of like, how quickly do you think they can get this back on track? I mean, to go from the NFC Championship to be this bad, I'm personally shocked. I thought Quinn wouldn't be able to keep this defense together a little bit more. Obviously,
I thought
injuries hurt, but there's been so many injuries across the league.
You can't just play. They're injured, but like you said, a lot of teams are injured, right? So my opinion on that, I've turned into, and I don't know, spread, if I'm actually trying to like psychoanalyze myself. I don't know if it is since the, I love the new owner, love the new coach and Quinn. I'm not sold on Adam Peters, all of his decisions. And so I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's that just now because I am doing so much, NFL research year round that it's kind of like I think I know best for the team. And when they don't do what I think or something, then I pout or I get mad or I don't know. I'm a more self-aware fan. So I used to be a delusional fan. I'm not saying Jamie's delusional, but I used to be delusional Washington.
I'll say
I'm not saying I love Jamie. I'm not saying he's delusional, but I used to be totally delusional fan and only like spin however the stats work to like pump up my team. I have, in doing more research, year round really, and, having a brother who's just like a NFL, encyclopedia, I just feel a little more realistic and self-aware. And I have not been impressed with Adam Peters' decisions, especially the ones going old, and the biggest mistake, the biggest by far was the Lattimore trade last year. Lattimore had, he wasn't who he used to be. He's old. And I mean, he was just known for getting penalties, quite honestly. That was a bad trade. Lost a 3rd round pick in that. That 3rd round pick could have been Cam Scatabo. Let's just put it out there because he went early 4th round. But no, trading away a lot for older players. Tunsil's worked out. Debo's fine, but how long are they really going to hold up? They're the oldest team in the NFL. They're old. They're slow. It's, and listen, it worked last year. It's like, so I'm not surprised because last year was like the opposite of what's happened of basically my whole lifetime or certainly my whole adulthood of being a Washington fan is everything ran pure. They stayed very healthy. Every bounce went their way. Every call everything went their way. Every doink went their way. They should have lost to Tampa Bay in the first wild card round. They were not the 4th best team in the NFL. They weren't. Everything went perfectly well for them last year. They should have lost. Tampa Bay was a much better team than them. Detroit was a much better team than them. It's just both those teams turned the ball over. I think Tampa had 2 massive back-breaking turnovers, and Detroit had like 4 that game. They were not the 4th best team. They were the 8th or 10th best team. But why have they fallen off? Well, they tried to go in on this, okay, rookie contract, let's whatever, but they went old instead of, and so I've been very disappointed in that. I think that was the wrong move. And, quite honestly, I was very impressed with Jaden Daniels' rookie year, but how I feel about, and this year, it's so funny that right after the draft last year, when I was disappointed, we didn't draft May. And I made some comments on Twitter, like he's never going to play a 17-game season. I had people that clearly like bookmarked me and on game 17 trolled me that day and were like, oh, starting his 17th game, and I want to be like, I just like cut my, I want to be like, actually played a game and a half. He missed a game and a half because he went out in the first drive of that Panthers game. He played through with a brace multiple games. He looked like shit. He couldn't even get that Hail Mary that's become one of the Washington's like premier play. He didn't make it to the end zone. It's because that terrible Bears player popped it up and pushed it back to the end zone. That Hail Mary didn't even make it to the end zone. He was banged up for multiple games, but played through it. And then he went out, obviously precautionary because they knew they were going to make the playoffs in week 18, which was their 17th game. He started that, but he played like crap against Dallas and he went out at halftime. So he actually played 15 and a half games last year, if those people that trolled me on Twitter want to know. And then this year, it's exactly what I thought it would be. It's 3 different injuries. It's not like one injury that's been lying or one bad injury that knocks him out for the season. It's 3 different injuries. He's built like Gisele Bündchen. I'm jealous of his frame as a female. So I'm just don't like, I know some people hate when people say that, but I'm sorry. I just don't think he's going to have a long career. I think it's going to have to be like Lamar, like the years he stays fully healthy, you better hope you make it to the NFC champion or try and make the Super Bowl. Cause I don't think it's going to be a long career. And I don't think there's going to be many 17-game seasons. That's my thoughts. This year proved me right. Last year I was proved wrong, but I think the choices that Adam Peters made around that, of course, I would have rather May than Daniels. And that's even with everything I know from last year. I just think he's going to have the longer and better career. That I could hopefully fantasy receipts isn't watching me and by the way, he was wrong for everybody he trolled last year because he trolled a bunch of people on May and May's shoving that down their throat because he might be the NFL MVP this year. So those are my thoughts. Still wish it was May over Daniels for the long term. And very disappointed in Adam Peters trading away picks for older players. That's why we're the oldest team in the league. We're the slowest team in the league. That's why the defense is so bad. So I'm very not delusional and I'm not surprised really at all. So.
Yeah, and I think a huge part of that defense falling off was Bobby Wagner aging overnight from being like, hey, I'm an above average or at least an average linebacker. And it's still makes plays here or there, but you can see that he's slow. Let me ask you one more question about
I was going to say, and those old guys they got worked last year. Zach Ertz worked. Yeah. Bobby Wagner worked. It worked last year. It just didn't work.
I think we could all agree though that they over exceeded expectations by a mile last year. So like they were supposed to win 4 to 6 games last year, and they made the NFC Championship game. Like you weren't just gonna in 1 year, they weren't gonna go from being a 6-win projected team to making the NFC Championship game, and then the next year just being a contender. Right, just wasn't possible
on the tougher schedule.
Right,
yes.
and
they were an advantage of that.
I was going to say, and in fairness, Patriots are doing what we did last year. They're playing the softest schedule in the league. They're running pure with stuff. So like, we'll see, they're exceeding expectations. We'll see what happens for them year 2 of this. But I love Dan Quinn. I like Vrabel a lot. I think May, I think May's going to have the better career. That's my opinion. Mike is right.
That was the
loyal.
reason. And do you remember we talked and I said, I didn't think Jane Daniels would happen at all. I said, Meg, they'll take Drake May. And I was kind of just with you. I mean, he's got an NFL body, right? And Daniels, a little slight, looks more like a point guard than a quarterback. And so we'll see
I saw
how that
he's
goes.
like joining some media thing. And when I see you guys like Chunky Soup commercial, I'm like, good for you. You should make your money. Make your money however you're going to make. Because I don't think you're going to get a third. You'll get a second contract somewhere, but I don't think you're going to get a third contract.
He might. I mean, the one thing that I'll give him is he's not just relying on his legs. For a guy that we would label a running quarterback, his touch underneath and over the middle and on those short and intermediate passes is really high level. And so I think that might be able to keep him in the league, even when his body slows down and he kind of adjusts.
Hopefully for him, I wish him the best. I hope for him it does, and for as long as he's on Washington, I hope it does. I'm just skeptical, but Mike is right. And you guys know this. I love my old quarterbacks because, I like still watching them when they, because when they're gone, they're gone. And so I am loyal to the olds in a way, but I don't know. The fact that Adam Peters traded away so much draft capital for, older players, I think was a mistake.
And the fact there's never been a 40-year-old, we have 40-year-old quarterbacks. There's never been a 40-year-old linebacker, and that's probably for a reason. Meg, let me ask you about my favorite draft class of all time. Caleb Williams there in the Bears. I've said on the show before, and you probably heard me, I feel like they're doing what Washington did last year, right? They just keep pulling stuff out of the hat. But I'll be here and I'll do it on stream with you. I'll mea culpa. Ben Johnson is a stud. I love everything about him. I love the post-game interviews where they show him with the team. I love the way he acts on the podium. I love the accountability. And I also love his commitment to the run game. And, I think that's something that's really helped Caleb a lot. And maybe something that Kevin O'Connell could have done for his young quarterback who's struggling right now, JJ McCarthy. You don't need to pass 70% of the time when your guy's struggling. But I'm still wondering. I mean, I'd like the Bears to be good. I think, it's just like the Raiders. They're an iconic franchise that haven't been good for a while. But I think the NFL will be better if they're good. Do you think this is fool's gold, or do you think that Caleb's going to end up being, at least a top 15 guy, and Ben Johnson's going to get this offense good enough to where the Bears can compete year in and year out?
I think that's a good question. It feels like what they're doing feels like us last year. And I heard someone, I hate the term Commanders because it's just a stupid team name, but I know they called them like the Cardiac Commanders last year. And I heard something on broadcast this past week, like the Cardiac Kids for the Bears. And it's like, you're just, you can't. And same with the Chiefs last year. All the stats going around now, Chiefs were 12-0 in 1-score games last year, and they're 0-5 this year. Like, you just can't run like that forever. We know variance, right? In betting, it's happened. Variance in NFL is real. You can't run like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens the rest of the year. I think the marriage of Ben Johnson to Caleb, both as, his development and just as an offensive wizard and head coach, I don't know if it's believing in Caleb, it's believing in what Ben Johnson can do for Caleb. So I guess that means I'm buying it, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to take them far this year. I don't think that, like, if they make the playoffs, they're going to, do it on Washington and make it to the NFC Championship. But I do believe long-term, it's going to be good for Caleb and the Bears.
All right. So you're believing in the Bears. All right. Do you have any other overreactions, or would you like to weigh in on the stuff that Tyler and I have been debating all year? Namely Mike Tomlin.
First Cooler says Meg's just gonna say no. Yeah, I always say no to Steve, but Steve's usually right.
I can't wait to hear how. I'm sorry, Meg, but I just can't wait to hear how Tomlin coached him up. He used his backup quarterback. They won the game. This is a Tomlin win. Fucking somebody on the defense scored 3 touchdowns himself. How many times is that going to happen?
I mean, I don't want to give away one of my picks, Tyler, but I'll just say you might like it this week here.
Okay, then I think you have tipped your hand there a little bit.
That's why I was talking about the Bears a little bit earlier. I think that's a fascinating game.
I think it's fascinating. I need Aaron Rodgers for my marathon team because Herbert's on bye. Dak's playing the Eagles defense, though maybe you can't run on the Eagles. So like Goff did have, I think, 250 passing yards. So
what you got to really hope is that they explode in that first half. They get up 24-0. And then you get in that pass happy script for the Cowboys, right? I mean, you should just be hoping AJ Brown, Devontae Smith just have a huge first half. And it could be like Geno did, right? Where it's just 250 yards and nobody notices because we've all checked out of the game at that point,
Yes, I need him. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if Rodgers plays with the Bear Ace, wants to get, Chicago one more time on his retirement tour. My final hot take is, and I don't know if you guys will agree or not, I kind of teased it with, but I've always been, I hate dynasties. I'm so over the Chiefs. I hate Nick Wright and all the whatever. I really, really do hope this is the year. It's fine. It caught up with them. They were 12-0 in one score games last year. I think it was 12-0 somewhere around there. They're 0-5 this year. I'm loving it. But I do think they go against the Colts this week. They go against then Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and they have a tough end of the schedule. So my hot take is I don't think the Chiefs make the playoffs this year, and then we don't have to suffer through they just need to make the playoffs and then they're going to the Super Bowl. So I think that I finally get my way there. Because if you think of the AFC, let's talk through the AFC really quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say the hard part of that take is that you're counting on Jacksonville to be the one that takes them out, right? Because I think they're in 8th right now and Jacksonville's in 7th.
Yeah, but you still have the Ravens
the rest of the season.
You still have, and I need to work the numbers. Let me pull up the standings really quick. AFC standings, because I mean, if Bengals lose this week, that puts them at 3-8. But if they ran the table and Burrow came back on Thanksgiving and they went 9-8, does that math work out? Because let's say Patriots and Bills are locks to make the playoffs. Let's say Steelers are locked to make the playoffs. Let's say Colts are locked to make the playoffs. Are they though? And Broncos are locked. Let's just go with
a lock.
Okay, well, I'm going with the division winners. So let's say I'm just going to say right now, Patriots, Steelers, Colts, and Broncos. That's 4. Then you get 3 more. I think Bills are 1, and I think Chargers are 2. So then you have Chiefs, Texans, which I don't believe in, Jaguars, Bengals, and Ravens. And again, if you want to interchange Steelers and Ravens or whatever, do it. But you get what I'm saying. So you've got the 4 division winners, and then you have Bills and Chargers as 2 playoff spots in the AFC, in my opinion. Then you have 5 teams for 1 spot. If you are counting Bengals, if you're counting Ravens, Jaguars, Texans, and Chiefs, because it's 5-5, 5-5, 6-4, 5-5. The only one is Bengals. And that's just saying, okay, Burrow says, F it, I'm coming back Thanksgiving night. And if we beat the Ravens, I'm going to try to keep rolling. And if they do beat the Ravens, then it does become interesting. They'd have to win out. But I don't know. It's not just them and the Jaguars, in my opinion. They got the Raven. I don't believe in the Texans. I think it's down to 4. I think it's Chiefs.
That's
Ravens.
So funny that you don't believe in the Texans, because I believe in the Texans.
I believe in their defense.
More than the Jaguars.
I believe in the Texans more than the Ravens. The Ravens' defense looks like Swiss cheese. They can't stop anything.
You believe in you believe in the Texans more than the Ravens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But
I think the Ravens are done.
Really?
Whenever they all came back on Thursday night, when they all came back on Thursday night against Miami, they looked good on offense, but the defense still showed some holes. And then you really seen it against Cleveland this past week. What's going to happen when they play like Cincinnati? They're going to give up 45 points. What if Lamar and them guys can't score? They're going to lose that one. Like, they're going to be put in bad spots because of this defense. They can't stop anything.
By the way, Mike, Rob, just put your earmuffs on because we know you're a diehard Ravens fan. Sorry. Are we fair to say, though, that there's 5 teams vying for 1 spot?
No, I could agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
definitely. That's
to me, it can't be the take of, and if they lose to the Colts this week, then they're making it even harder. So like, it can't just be we know what they're going to do. I'm just so like variance finally hit them, and it hit them bad as far as like 1-score games. And I just think it's going to be interesting to watch it play out. And I hope the Colts put them one team further back, and I like the Colts money line this week. That's my hot take.
All right. Yeah. And I think, we talked about earlier as these players kind of just get old overnight. And I just think that Chris Jones went from up there in the TJ Watt, Myles Garrett type of category. It was way effective game. And now he's just a good player. Like he's like Quinnen Williams or, he's good, but he's just not that game record that he was. And at his age, you can't, that's a physical position.
I knew we were going to get a Mike Robb comment on the Ravens.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike Robb. I already heard you bagging on the Bears and the Raiders here, two iconic fan bases, and you're over there rooting for the Ravens, reading Edgar Allan Poe poems to go to sleep every night. No, Mike Robb, we're not having that. Iconic franchises are not going to listen to you Johnny-come-latelys that just pack up vans and leave in the middle of the night in 1995, Mike Robb. We're not doing that today.
I do love the boo this man. Mike Robb, we love you. We love you. But Spread's giving it back to you. But we love you, Mike. So so let's each go around and say who we think gets the 7th spot. I think it's going to be, hold on. I have the hottest take, but it doesn't make. I was gonna say if it's not the Ravens, it's the Bengals because they beat the Ravens twice, but they would have to run the table. That does seem wild. What is your guys' take? Who gets the?
So Tyler's gonna hate this because it goes against everything I say, but I think the Ravens end up winning that division.
You think the Ravens win the division?
I think they're going to come back and win the division. They play Pittsburgh twice.
They do play
Pittsburgh. They probably will. Pittsburgh's going to hit this wall and just start to collapse. Yeah. But the AFC North is just it's a clown show this year. There's nothing going on. And my pick for finishing in that last seed, looking at schedules, it's the Texans.
Okay.
Even if they lose,
even with Stroud,
they could lose by 50 on Thursday. Then they play the Colts. They could lose that one too. Then they play the Chiefs. Then they get the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Colts. The Colts might be sitting all their guys in week 8 in that last week.
As long as it's not week 17.
Yeah. And as long as it's not week 17. Week 18, them guys could all be on the bench.
Jamie, how are you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you doing? It's been a while.
It's been a long time. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I love watching you on here with these guys chopping it up. How's your best ball season going?
Shockingly, actually, I don't want to say shockingly, but actually pretty good so far. So I listened to a lot of your guys' stuff on here, and this year I really diversified a little bit and tried to stay away from the best ball mania. Like every year I would just do like 70 in the best ball mania, and then at the end of the year I'm just like, why did I do that? It's like get exit out in the round 1, and so I did a lot more of like the I think it's the Bulldog, like the $75.
Yeah, that's the one I made the finals last year. Yeah, though.
Really?
That's the one. Yeah, I finished 5th, and the Bulldog made the finals because the advance rates are so much cleaner, right?
It's so much better. And so I did the 2 max. I think there was 2 of them that I did. So far I'm in advancing in both of them currently.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Greyhound $35 one, advancing in that.
That's a nice clean advance rate too.
Yeah. So a lot of those are really good. And then even the best ball mania, I did just 16 of them in there so far. And
I only did 24 and 20 of them were on stream, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. It was literally mostly for content. And hey, if I make the best ball finals, whether it's on my team or a stream team, I'll be thrilled. But 100%. No, I was the same way. I leaned into the marathon, which I have the third place team right now. And I'm
seen that.
Saving prayers. The loss of Cam Scatabo, I'm still not well because now I watch all my teams suffering in different ways from it. But anyways, we're trying to power through these next 6 weeks and hope that team stays healthy and does well, and hope my portfolio, I'm close to 25%, 24% or something like that. And I'm so glad that you loved the Fan Speak Best Ball content and did more of the cleaner advance rate stuff. That you're going to be so happy at the end of the year.
100%. And I looked last night. I have a couple really fun teams. Like one of my best teams overall. Like I only have 4 running backs, and it's I think Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving, Devon Achane, and Rico Dowdle. And so the Rico one is just like a perfect fit. So I got a little lucky on a few of them. So Rico is like my highest drafted running back, which lucked into that one a little bit, but that feels good. Javante's up there as well. So got a few fun ones. I'm excited now. For the first time, last few years, it was hard to get excited towards the end. So I have to go into a 16-person pool. I'm probably just going to get, routed in round one. Like every year it's over. But now it's like knowing I'm going to go into like, 1 out of 6. Like, okay, that's doable, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally. Didn't you make the Hound Dog finals last year, Spread? One of those 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 5?
I made the puppy.
Oh, that's
puppy.
harder. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like 1 out of 10. But no, it was 2022 was like I'd sprinkled before that, but 2022 I did like 50 total, only like I think 9 BBMs, and I was lucky and I made the BBM finals. And so I'm thinking, oh, this is how it's just so easy. It's so great. So the next year I do like I don't know over 100 or 150 something like that total, and it was all like puppy and BBMs, like all like crazy advance rates. Yeah. And I'm sitting there crying my eyes out week 17 because I don't have anything to root on because it was like gauntlet advance rates, right? And that's why I was like, never again. And so I did less BBM and more of the other contests. And last year I had a marathon sweat and I had a bulldog sweat, and it was awesome. And so I'm awesome. So glad you feel the same way. And I'm hoping that is for Steve and I and all you guys too, and anybody watching. Yeah, it just is fun catching up on basketball too. But
absolutely.
So Jamie, do you agree? Spread before I left, because we're doing like a combo show here. Spread asked my hot take before I left. My hot take is that the Chiefs don't make the playoffs this year. It's to me, it's 5 teams vying for 1 spot. I hope the Colts beat their ass this week. I say Colts money line. That's my hot take. Where are you? Do the Chiefs make the playoffs, and do they win this week?
It's just so hard for me to always say they don't, but I'm rooting so hard for them not to. I won't lie. Like I'm from Kansas, so like I hear from my friends all the time. And I'm so over it. So I will be hate watching, as I like to call it. So I will be rooting.
Hate watcher. Yeah.
I will be rooting against them. I think the Colts are a fun team. If they lose this week, they're probably in some trouble, I think. I feel like they have to go. Like if they lose, I don't know, like 3 or 4 games.
The Chargers again. They still play. Yeah. The Broncos again, I think. They play Broncos on Christmas Day. Yeah. So
they're going to need a pretty clean run out. I mean, they definitely could do it, obviously. It feels like 3 weeks ago we were talking like, Mahomes MVP and now like this team's looking good. But they look rough a little bit, right? They just don't look like the same team. They're not near as scary. So I'll be rooting for the Colts for sure.
I'm definitely rooting for the Colts. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Anything else you guys got for me? Or if not, I'll leave you guys to do your normal, amazing NFL betting card, find some winners for week 12.
I think that's it, but we're going to have to do this again, Meg. It was fun to get your thoughts. And hey, I think by next year, this time, Jaden Daniels might be making you reconsider and might be planting his flag as the best quarterback in that legendary Hall of Fame class.
I mean, listen, I think hopefully it's like the 2004 and the 2018 and the 2020 class where it's like there's going to be multiple that are super successful, and that's awesome, Yeah. So I know I said what I said about still wishing it was May over Daniels to Washington. That's more like a longevity, like a long play, thing. But it is what it is. I think there's going to be more than just this season where you don't have all season. I'll say it like that. So, but of course I'm rooting for him, so.
But I mean, Lamar Jackson's had some of those issues too throughout his career. And I think that's what you're going to get. But as a Raiders fan, I'll tell you what, I'll take some injuries to have a player of Lamar Jackson's caliber under center. So you might be pretty good overall. Let's see how this turns out. And I'm rooting for him because I think he is more exciting. I mean, if you're just going to watch highlights, you're just going to show your friend from Europe that wasn't a football fan, I think that Jaden Daniels would be one of the guys that you chose.
More exciting than May?
Yeah. The way he makes plays?
I love like that, like off script. Like, did you see some of the like jump balls the other night and I'm more of that. Like, I'm not here to just watch a quarterback just run. Like, I'm old school. I like watching my quarterbacks be able to. May has a way better arm. Like, I love like a big, massive arm. I like that like off script stuff. So we'll disagree there. But of course, I hope long term Jaden's fine and great. And what we did last year. So wishing the best for the kid, of course. But no, this has been fun. We'll have to do this again where I come on a Tuesday, maybe do a little whatever underdog best ball beforehand, then jump on with you guys, or maybe Steve can too, because I think it's fun to have a longer kind of hybrid show. So hopefully those watching enjoyed it. Make sure you all hit that like button and are subscribed and locked in. Plenty more content coming your way, and hopefully plenty more best ball sweats coming your way this season. So good luck to all you guys week 12. Tyler, I'll see you Friday, and Spread, anytime any of you guys want to jump on Friday with us, it's a party. So let us know.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. I might have to crash the party one of these Fridays.
Crash the party anytime. All right. To all those watching,
thanks, Meg.
Have a great night. All right. Take it easy.
Meg.
Bye.
All right. This is what's the deal, Tyler? We got to hit the intro show, right? So here we are on the Fan Speak Network. We're here to overreact to everything that we saw in week 11 and then look ahead to week 12. I just had to play the intro, that drum breakdown.
I was going to say, you're so locked into like your ways that like there was no possible way for you to start that show without doing your intro and hitting that button. You just wouldn't have been able to do it. The show would have just never flowed the right way for you.
All right, there's Tyler's hot take. Jamie, how you doing today? And we'll start with you. What's your first overreaction there to what we saw in week 11?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I was muted. I don't even know if I really have an overreaction this week. I think I don't have
one if you want to dive right in.
Let's just let you.
It's based on what we've talked about. You're always getting on these coaches for being too conservative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this week we saw why these coaches are so conservative. And I'm going to start with the game that was played in Spain. And we talked about MetLife as well. And maybe the Giants need to see what they're doing with that field, because that's amazing. And how we can't afford that in America is unbelievable, especially New York, the richest city in the world. But did you watch the Sunday morning game? I mean, these guys are just morons. It's a tie game and you're going for it. You can't kick a field goal. There's a point where you just get too aggressive. And then the other one too, I felt that Dan Campbell, hey, if it's 45-42 and you're not getting stops, you can start going for it. But I felt that he gave that game away, and I felt a conservative coach could have got the win there if he would have played field position battle. Just gave the Eagles too many easy things. So I'll start with you, Jamie. I think that last week showed why these coaches are conservative and how stupid it looks when you're too aggressive and you fail. What did you think about what you saw on Sunday morning and Sunday night?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily binary, right? Like, I don't think it's just black or white of like aggressive or conservative. Like, I think there you got to contextualize it a little bit. So I do agree with the Sunday morning one. I mean, given the context of the fact that neither team was really able to drive the football whatsoever, and that they were just like itching for a score, and both offenses are pretty bad in general. Both teams bad. I think in that case, I don't hate the idea of kicking a field goal in that spot. But when it comes to Dan Campbell, it's like that's what he's always done. If they converted on some of those fourth downs, we'd be coming on here talking about how awesome it was, right? Like majority of the time when he does do this, going for it on fourth down and he gets it and they end up winning games because of it, we hear the other narrative about how awesome it is. And I think in that situation, they're playing a much better football team than obviously what we saw with Washington and Miami on the road as well. I think I don't hate that. That's just who they are, right? So like for me, it is what it is with them, right? Like that is just who they are. And sometimes they're going to die by the sword. Sometimes they're going to live by the sword. They died by the sword that time. But you could make an argument, I guess, that Jared Goff just had no time whatsoever, that you're like, at this point, you got to kind of punt it away. And the funny thing is, didn't he punt it finally, though? Like, wasn't it like a fourth down with like 4 or 5 minutes left, down like 10? And then he ended up punting it away. And I'm like, and now you decide to punt it down 2 scores? So it's like I said, for them, I don't think it was that big of a deal. That's who they are. The Washington Miami game, it definitely.
It's like you said, it's not binary. It's not. You have to take it to contextual. I think if I'm Dan Campbell, and it's not okay. That's who we are, but we're also going against arguably the best defense in the league. Neither team is scoring. It's not like they're lighting us up. It's not like we have to afraid. Oh, can't give Jalen Hurts the ball. Oh, no, it's not like that game. The Rams and Chiefs 3 years ago was 55-52, right? And
sure. But I think you got to look on the opposite side of that. Is if that's their thought process, then they're like, it's maybe more valuable for us to get this first down and be able to score, and that they're not concerned about Jalen Hurts and that offense getting the ball at the 45, 50-yard line, right? So you can look at it on the other side of maybe they were going for it because they weren't concerned about the Eagles moving the football like they really weren't able to do. So I get your point. I always generally am leaning towards coaches being as aggressive as possible. Field goals just don't win games against good teams. That's just my thought process. Miami and Washington are two bad teams.
Morning game when there's a minute to go and it's a tie game. Field goals win games.
See, I agree, but those are two bad teams, right? So it's like, okay, we're facing two bad teams.
I was almost wondering if they were both trying to lose. I was almost wondering if McDonald got the call. Because remember that owner has tried to tank before. Yeah. I was almost wondering if McDonald, hey, your job, or McDaniels, your job's safe, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not too worried about what happens on Sunday. So he's like, dial it up.
Yeah.
And then they get the kickoff return fumble, and he's like, well, what are we going to do now? We're kind of hamstrung into winning this game. Tyler, what'd you think about the aggressive coaching that we saw on Sunday?
I just think that a lot of these coaches or a certain R word that I'm not going to say on this channel, and it ends in ED. I just think they try and get too cute and they overthink it. And the Detroit game, I mean, that's Dan Campbell at his finest. Like, these guys just do dumb stuff. I've said it for 2 years. Once Detroit started scoring a bunch of points and everyone loved it when they went for fourth downs, I said that is going to be the thing that always bites him in the ass and why they can't win in the playoffs. And sure as shit, last year, I know they turned the ball over a lot, but you can't always go for it. And then you get into a game like that with Philly that was easily winnable, and you keep going for it. And then Sirianni on the other side looks across and sees Dan Campbell's going for it every time. I'm going to go for it too because my ego is not going to let me not go for it. So I just think a lot of these coaches are pretty stupid, and it's just a giant ego battle between these guys.
Yeah, and I will say too, real quick. So like I said, I normally do lean towards the more aggressive approach for coaches. Sirianni, though, sometimes he does some pretty dumb stuff 2 weeks in a row.
You saw it in his face when they got to that 4th and 1, on their own 30. They showed him walking up and down the sideline. I said, you could see it in that man's face right now. He's going to go, you'll be damned if I'm going to let him go for it 6 times and go 0-6. I'm going to go for it right now and show him I can get it.
100%. It was definitely the ego thing. Well, even the week before they played the Packers, and it was 4th and 8. Instead of punting the Packers back, he goes for it, throws a 40-yard bomb down the
40-yard out.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. God. Sirianni is definitely yes, he's the guy. I'm just like, okay, he does make a lot of dumb things. Dan Campbell, I do agree. It has bit him several times, but at this point, I'm just like, that is just who he is. You just got to expect it. He's just going to go for it almost every fourth.
It just makes you think more and more that there's a behind the scenes, like Spread said, there's a behind the scenes thing where it's like, hey, McDaniel, nothing matters here. You're still going to get your money. You'll still have your job. Go have fun.
Another hot take. I was calling for him to get fired about week 4 or week 5. I've flipped.
It's kind of he's kind of rebounded.
I think that team is playing for him. And now my hot take there is that he's actually still a good play caller. Just Tua is so concussed.
There's no doubt
that he can't read a defense anymore. And that we need to give him a shot with the real quarterback.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever that he's a good play caller. We could make the argument that he's a good head coach.
Just to touch, we got to hit a rewind button on who's going to get that last seed in the AFC. We might want to sprinkle Miami.
They're definitely there. I mean, they're in the mix.
They play the Saints at home. That's probably a win.
Yeah.
They play at the Jets. That's probably a win. Mm-hmm. At the Steelers, that's a winnable game. Home for the Bengals.
You have to be favored.
Home for the Bengals, that's winnable. Home for the Buccaneers, that's probably a loss. and then the Patriots in the last week of the season when Drake might not be playing.
Yeah, they might not be playing anybody.
They might swoop in and steal that last seed. What are their odds to make the playoffs if we can get a nice number on that?
It's probably
it's
going to be a
get
nice
a huge number because the my concern right in my way.
They're
if I was trying to talk
55-1 to make the playoffs.
We're gonna need Tua to give us like that many good performances in a row. I don't know if he can do it.
It's a long shot, but you're 55-1.
If it was on a real team, we might be putting A-Chain up there in that Saquon and Bijan and JT category. I mean, he is so good.
Yeah.
So
55-1.
I mean, it's worth $10. It's worth my senior 100%. Special, Mike Rob.
With that schedule, we're betting the Sizzlers senior special on that.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, did you have a hot take? Because I have one more that it'll be quick, and you guys will probably just laugh at me.
It's not even really a hot take, but like I think the Rams are the best team in football.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that they are a couple plays away from being undefeated. They had a blocked field goal, or that would be a different loss on their schedule. Their other loss is evading me right now. I can't think of it, but still, I just think this
Philadelphia.
That was the blocked field goal.
I think it was it 49ers? Okay. It was like that Kyron fumble in overtime.
It was the Kyron fumble. Yeah, so they had a Kyron fumble and a blocked field goal when they were kicking the field goal to win the game. This team could be undefeated. Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback in the league right now. I know everyone loves Drake Mays, the shiny new toy, but old man on the Rams has got like a 28-2 touchdown to interception ratio. He's top 8 in yards. His team is loaded. Devontae's a cheat code to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
This team is going to be a problem in the playoffs. If Philly can't put together an offense, because that was the one team that was able to keep them away, I don't know who's going to beat this team.
Sean McVay is, I think, 0-5 against Matt LaFleur. I just will say that. But I will say, though.
They might not even be there.
Oh, they're going to be there. Come on now, man. They're 6-3-1. They're going to be there. But I will say, at the beginning of the season, right, I talked about the 3 Super Bowl bets. I had the Packers at plus 2,200 and the Rams and the 49ers at plus 2,400. That Rams one feels really, really good at this point because I kind of agree with Tyler. That Rams team is good. And I think one of the most undervalued acquisitions in the offseason was Devontae Adams. Yes. Like because you literally swapped Cooper Kupp for Devontae Adams, and it is not even close. Like Devontae doesn't look even close to washed to me at all. And he is, like he said, a cheat code in the red zone. And they do that 13 personnel, and then when they get down to the 1 or 2 yard line, Puka's not even on the field. They just put Devontae there at the 1 or 2 yard line. He's just unstoppable, man. He is literally unstoppable in the red zone. He's probably going to lead all wide receivers in touchdowns, and then Stafford's probably going to lead all quarterbacks in touchdowns. Probably going to win an MVP, and I think they got a good chance because you have a really good head coach. You have a sneaky good defense as well. I agree. I think that's I feel very good about that Rams ticket, and I agree. They're probably the best team in football.
You run that Eagles game back 9 more times out of 10, that might be legit the one the Eagles get. How many times is Jalen Hurts going to outthrow Stafford? Hurts went 21 for 32 for 226 and 3 touchdowns. He also ran in a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 100 yards. Devontae had 60 in a touchdown. Like, I just don't see that stuff always happening. The Rams are going to be able to put points on the board, and if Hurts can't move the ball, and Saquon looks like a shell of himself, and that's what saved them last year against the Rams, good luck against this team in the playoffs.
The problem is that the Rams secondary is the weakest part of their defense. Yeah, but I don't think the Philadelphia defense.
If Hurts is throwing 60-yard balls down the field to nobody, does it matter?
But I think we could see another bit better day for AJ and Devontae because I think the Lions have a way better secondary than the Rams.
Think about that spread. It took Jalen Hurts to have his best throwing game of the entire season, and they needed a blocked field goal to win the game.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm pro Rams too. I'm just kind of making arguments here.
I think the Rams are also like, I think we all can admit that like, if you're playing your best football towards the end of the year, is so much more valuable than what you did 6 weeks ago. I think the Eagles are kind of trending down. I know they've won 2 games, but their offense is not good. Like they've
also played against 2 really good defenses in that time.
They've been bad the whole time, other than the Giants.
Year.
Yeah, other than the Giants, the one game when AJ Brown was out, they scored 38 points. Like this team has not been very good for a while. I don't.
They
think
also
they
play a Super Bowl schedule, though. I mean, it's like we could say, "Oh, the Patriots and Drake May are so good." It's like, yeah, but they're beating up on like Cincinnati and the Jets and the Dolphins, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
different
the thing
going against the Lions and the Packers and the Chiefs and the Rams. I mean, they're going to be ready here.
They
and
are
it's not
legit
like the Rams
what the
haven't played
Chiefs were
tough
last year. They're just relying on their defense. Their offense is absolutely non-existent.
But their defense is even better than what the Chiefs' defense was last year.
Yeah, but just to touch back on it, a quarterback like Stafford's going to shred that defense again, and let's see what happens.
I don't know because Stafford does so well against the blitz, and they can get pressure with 4. I really like that Eagles defense.
Yeah, their defense is good, but you're not going to win playoff.
You're not going to win the playoffs
17 points all the time
with the way they
just. Yeah,
Saquon's not going to show back up as Superman in the playoffs. I don't think the way he's been playing. So
no, their offensive line is not good. I said it last week.
2 guys just got hurt off that offensive line too. Lane Johnson went down.
Lane Johnson's hurt every week now. He got hurt against Green Bay too. Came back and got hurt again. They're just too reliant on explosive plays. I know you can say that a lot of teams are, but you have to be able to move the football too. Like
if you told me we're coming into the NFC Championship game and both lines are banged up and they're both going to get pressured, I want Stafford over Hurts every time.
Yeah. Hurts does not look good to me. He misses a lot of throws, man. A lot of easy
we
throws.
might be going head-to-head there in the NFC Championship game because I wouldn't be surprised to see those two teams facing off, and I might be a pro Eagles backer. I'm such a big believer in that defense. Those 2 additions to that defensive line, and oh, my gosh, it's unbelievable how balanced they are. So, all right. That was just going to be my final hot take, was just watching – everyone on social media meltdown, and I'm talking about mainly the people I follow that only do fantasy football and that they like can't wrap their heads around the fact that there's talented people on the defensive side of the ball too. They expect every game to be all offense, and I'm just sitting here and I go, these are 2 of the best defenses in the league, right? I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, Jalen Carter. I mean, these guys change games here. We don't even need to talk about that
spread. I got one.
Oh, let's hear it.
You'll love
one
this.
more, and then we'll go into our best bets.
Your guy in Seattle, Sam Darnold, is going to win a playoff game this year as long as he doesn't play the Rams in round 1. I think that team just has his number. McVay knows exactly how to beat him. You've seen them, just like you said, get pressure with 4, drop back in coverage. All of a sudden he panics, he throws the ball. There's enough guys back there to jump the ball. And they knew it was only going to a couple guys. They thrash every other team that's been in front of them.
Yeah.
I think they could win a playoff game. I just think McVay knows exactly how to beat a guy like Darnold.
Yeah, and I hope so too, because I've been rooting for Seattle. And hey, I got the cover there.
That team,
I got the cover there.
The defense is good. The coaching.
No, that defense is great because we talk about how high powered that Rams offense is, and that defense was able to hold up. I mean, they gave him a chance to come back, and
that's why seeing them have that chance,
61-yarder.
Seeing them have that chance with how bad of a game Darnold played, it just makes me more confident that they're going to beat a team in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I hope you're right there. Jamie, what's your first best bet for Week 12?
Got a gross one. No one's going to like this one. I already know that, but that's all right. I'm going to go with the Bengals plus 8.5. I just want to, preface by saying that I do like this Patriots team. I think they have a really bright future. I love Drake May. If we do our rankings again, he might be in that top 5 quarterback rankings, but I do think New England is slightly overvalued by the market. I don't think that they're a top 5 team in the NFL. I think they're probably closer to 10. In my opinion, I don't love the fact that Jamar Chase is out. The line moved from 7.5 to 8.5. So that is a killer.
Which seems about right. I think he's worth 1 point.
I think so. I think that is right. But either way, I still would probably get this about 6.5 with no Jamar Chase. And so since you're getting 8.5 going through the key number of 7, I do like this bet quite a bit. They said New England ranks 29th in defensive DVOA, 10th in offensive DVOA, 17th in defensive success rate, and 11th in offensive success rate. So not a bad team, by any stretch of the margin. But I do not think that they're a top 5 team. I think they're just slightly overvalued. In addition, though, there are a couple trends that do fit this. Obviously, we always talk about the Dogs that are coming off of a blowout loss that hit over 60% of the time with a 19% ROI. The Bengals fit that. In addition to that, underdogs coming off of a loss and failing to cover in 3 straight games have against the spread 58% of the time with a 13% ROI. So this is one of those plug your nose, make a bet on the Bengals and hope they don't get blown out. Like I said, I know probably no one's going to like it. I just think it's still a little bit too wide for me. I could see the Bengals winning by a touchdown or the Patriots winning by a touchdown. Like I said, I just think that they're slightly overvalued by the market. Still a good team. Still optimistic about them for the future. Still love Drake May. Just feels like a spot where we can kind of attack a Bengals team coming off a pretty bad loss.
I looked at that one too, and one thing I wanted to point out, you talked about the Patriots defensive rating, and then go ahead and sort it how good they are against the run.
They're good against the run.
Bengals
don't.
And what do the Bengals
don't like
do?
to run the ball.
Even when they get Chase Brown involved, it's usually through dump offs and the fact that they're using their ability to move the ball through the air. So I also think the Bengals match up well. That one almost made it on my cards. I just was trying to support you. I actually looked at that one.
Yeah, my fault. I thought you were giving me the opposite view. Yeah.
No. Usually I like to argue with you, Jamie, but
I know I'm just so used to it, man.
I'll play devil's advocate here.
Yeah,
let's
go ahead.
I'll play devil's advocate here. I think Chase being out is going to change this entire team, and it's worth way more than 1 point because when they're both on the field, neither guy should be single covered. But now when you take one of them off and you put Yoshi-Bosch on the field, Yoshi-Bosch is nowhere near a threat as the other one on the other side. So T. Higgins is going to draw Christian Gonzalez and probably get bracketed by the safety. That's going to leave Flacco to look for other targets. Yes, he could still move the ball, but I think these other guys are nowhere near capable to keep this offense flowing. I think this offense might just pretty much die without Chase. I think they all need to be there to where they can both get open. You can't double cover both of them. The safeties have to account for everything over the top with both of them, so they can't bracket them. That's out the window now.
Good argument. I mean, the only thing I would say is if you want to go ahead and put that safety on Higgins, and if I already know that's going to happen, I'm taking Chase Brown over on receiving yards. I mean, that's not a bad look. That's just the way Vrabel's a Belichick guy, and Belichick used to always take your best player away from you and make you beat you with other ways. Well, your best player is suspended, so we're taking your second best player away. All right. So there's your first bet, Jamie. Tyler, what's your first best bet?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the team I just talked about. Give me Seattle in the first half -7.5, in the first quarter -2.5, and give me the full game -13.5. I think they come right back to what they were doing to everyone else that's not named the Rams, and they just absolutely obliterate the Titans. Their defense picks off passes like they're absolutely nothing. They have 3 different ball hawks back in that secondary. Cam Ward's going to give them chances. They're going to be able to run the ball, and JSN's going to be wide open against the secondary. So they name their score. And when they get in these matchups, they've had them multiple times this year. You blink, and they're up 21-0. So give me Seattle. First quarter, first half, full game.
All right, Tyler. I'm glad we talked about this a couple weeks ago, laying it with the big boys, and I'm doing the same exact thing. Give me the Detroit Lions -10.5. Jamie, I hate going against your boy, Jackson Dart, but this is the spot that we want to take the Lions. Coming off a tough loss and at home, they are going to have their foot on the gas pedal on offense, and I think that the poor performance last week was more of a referendum to me on how good that Philadelphia Eagles defense is. I still think this Lions offense is high octane, especially when you get them back indoors. And I still have to wonder about the Giants' attitude, how much, and we talked about it before, firing Daboll. I don't know if that actually helped them a lot. I mean, I guess Kafka is well regarded there, and maybe he'll end up doing a better job than Daboll could have. Maybe they know something we don't, but you look at the way they draft, it seems like we know more than they do there on the Giants. And we talked about this before, man. If you missed it, Jamie, we did Battle Royale drafts, and I said that I thought Jahmyr Gibbs should be the top player this week. He is going to run and catch passes all over this Giants defense. I still think, if you want to play Jackson Dart in fantasy, I think he might be a good play playing with a big deficit there. I'm betting on the Detroit Lions offense here to cover the -10.5. What do you think, Jamie? Is your golden rookie going to shove it in my face here and cover the spread?
No, I'm with you. I do like that spot too. That was a consideration for me on having one of the best bets, but I stayed away from it. But I do agree. This does feel like a good spot. Back at home, they're going to be able to move the football. I think we see a big Monroe St. Brown game, so I would be dabbling in his touchdown props as well. Whenever that stuff comes up, maybe some yardage. But again, we say it all the time. You don't back Jared Goff in a bad weather game. And last week, because I did not like the Eagles offense so much, I said the Lions, but then thankfully at the end, I did say maybe just take the team total under for the Eagles, which might be just a better look. It's just Jared Goff in that offense just not play very well at all outdoors, man. He just has no time whatsoever against that defense. He's going to have a lot more time. Giants do have a pretty decent pass rush as well. But Jared Goff, though, historically has actually been pretty decent against pressure. So I agree. I think they're going to be able to move the football. This does feel like, and the good thing about the Lions, we always say it, they're kind of a front running team. If they get up by 14, there's a good chance that 14 turns into 24 pretty quick. So you could even maybe take some alts too, you know?
All right. Tyler, what do you think of that pick?
Yeah, I like it. I was just looking to see. I'm pretty sure Dan Campbell turned play calling back over this week. So
no, I thought he announced he's doing it for the rest of the year.
Did he?
Look that up. I was under the impression he was going to continue for the rest of the year because we drafted J-Mo in one of those drafts.
See, I could be wrong, but I swore I caught something that said he would go back.
Well, I'll look that up.
Somebody was giving play calling up this week. It might not have been him. Actually, I think it might have been LaFleur. Was it LaFleur that gave up play calling?
Not a chance on earth that Dag. He will never do that.
One of these coaches gave up play calling.
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. I can't think off the top of my head. I'll look that up. Jamie, what's your next best bet?
But back to before that. I do like the pick, and the reason I do like it, the day ball firing is also going to coincide with the fact that they want Dart not running as much because he's hurting himself all the time. Don't be surprised if he only runs the ball like 2 or 3 times this game and he just tries to stand in the pocket. I think that results in a couple picks for him. It's going to take away most of his game that makes him the quarterback he is. So I just think that's going to give Detroit even a better spot. So I like the pick, and I'll probably bet them FanDuel does specials. The biggest blowout of the week, that'll probably be my pick for the biggest blowout.
The guy that seeded the play calling duties, Tyler, Kevin Stefanski. Not going to.
That was it. Okay, Stefanski did it.
For sure.
I knew someone gave up play calling this week. I knew I seen that.
Yeah. All right, Jamie, what's your next? I see your comment, Mike Robb. Mike Robb says having Josina Anderson call the plays for Shador. All right. We didn't even talk about Shador Sanders. Are we even a proper NFL show? Boy, Skip Bayless will be disappointed. Jamie, what's your next best bet?
So this one's not out yet, but I want to take Matthew Golden. I want his anytime touchdown and over on yards. So last week I was all over Christian Watson. He's the man beater. Giants play man at the third highest rate. The Vikings play zone at the highest rate in the league, and Matthew Golden has some pretty big splits against zone versus man. This actually dates back to his time in college as well. But versus man, Matthew Golden has a 0.6 yards per route run. Against zone, that goes up to 1.9 yards per route run. I do think that Romeo Dobbs is in a decent spot too, but that's going to be like plus 150. I would imagine the Matthew Golden anytime touchdown, as long as he plays, because he has been banged up lately, will probably be something close to like 3-1. I like that. His yards will probably be like 25.5 to 30, something like that. I like that as well. In addition, though, this is just kind of a spot where generally when we get these rookie wide receivers that were drafted early like that in the first round, and we get to week 12 and they still have not caught a touchdown and they're still on the field, at some point they're going to catch a touchdown. Like Matthew Golden's not going to go the whole season without a touchdown. So it's kind of where I like to buy into on some of these rookies that have yet get inside the end zone. So I think this actually matches up pretty well. In addition to that, I think Josh Jacobs probably misses this game. And I don't think he wants to, Matt LaFleur wants to just run Emmanuel Wilson 30 times in this game. So I think we're going to probably see a few more dropbacks from Jordan Love, unless the game for some reason gets out of control, but no Packers games gets out of control like that. So I think we'll see a few more dropbacks from Jordan Love. And I think this is a good spot to kind of back the rookie Matthew Golden from scoring a touchdown and taking his over on receiving yards.
Just because we're talking about that game, I like your pick, but I want to go back to what I was saying earlier about being conservative. Watching the game between the Bears and the Vikings, I felt that the Bears benefited from the fact that you would consider Ben Johnson to be conservative because of his commitment to the run. And I'm watching J.J. McCarthy out there, a quarterback who's completely struggling to pick up the pace of the game. And I'm actually watching both Jones and Mason move the ball pretty well on the ground. And I'm going, KOC, man, take some pressure off this guy. Look what Ben Johnson was doing, getting those running backs involved. I'll be interested to see if maybe KOC dials it back. I know that he's done well with that Andy Reid style, just throw the ball every down with his other quarterbacks. But I don't know if this current personnel is suited to do that. And I think for J.J. McCarthy's benefit, KOC needs to be a little more conservative and run the ball more often. Tyler, any thoughts on the Matthew Golden pick or the Vikings Packers in general?
No, I mean, I think that he's able to throw against that defense as long as he's not just under duress the entire game. Mm-hmm. Golden's probably has to come along eventually, and this is a perfect spot for him against that defense playing zone, so I don't hate it. The only thing is, I was burned a lot of money trying to bet Golden this year, so do I really want to go back there? Yeah, he's been
disappointing. I had him in 3 of my 4 fantasy leagues, and it's just been nothing.
It's the Packers mentality. It's just, unless you're Tucker Kraft, it's hard for you to get 6.
Well, it's also tape for his stats. I've also seen him get open and Love miss the throws, right? But then when it comes to Dubes and Wicks, the guys that have no hands,
it's definitely been a few. It's definitely been a few like
there as well.
Exactly. That's also another reason why I think we could just see him.
I don't watch the tape though and see like a Keon Coleman where I'm like, I don't know if this guy can make it in the NFL. It just feels like, boy, the stats aren't really accurately reflecting how talented this player is. So let's see if they can get him involved here. Maybe it's going to be a second or third year breakout. I think famously Devontae Adams took to about year 3, right, to break out for you guys. So
year 2 was definitely better, but year 1 was definitely rough.
Yeah. So, I'm not ready to give up on these guys right off the bat. Tyler, what's your next best bet?
It's probably going to be an ugly one. Where is that? Let me get the exact number. Yeah. You going to hold your nose on this one? We're going to Monday night. Give me Carolina +7.
Oh, I like that one.
I think that team's a little better than we think they are projected to be. They are able to run the ball. Rico Dowdle was one of the best running backs in the league in recent times. So San Fran's defense gives up a ton of yards. Yeah, they might have beat up on Arizona this past week, but Jacoby Brissett and Michael Wilson had a day. Same thing with Trey McBride. Bryce will be able to move the ball with Tet, and they'll be able to move the ball with Dowdle. So I think they're going to keep this game relatively close. I think they're live to win it. So give me the +7.
Yeah, you got to wonder how long the 49ers and Robert Saleh can continue to keep that defense held together with simply duct tape, and maybe Carolina Panthers. And, we talked about rookies breaking out, right? Ted McMillan had his breakout game last week. And, of course, Bryce Young throwing for over 400 yards. So I'm with you there. I did like the Panthers +7. What do you think, Jamie? Are you wanting to take the dog there, or do you think that we're walking into a trap and buying high off one of the best performances from the Panthers this season?
No, I like the Panthers. I said last week too, man. They're like a sneaky, decent team. Like, I don't think they're like a bottom barrel team. I think they're well coached. I think they have some playmakers. I think what Dave Canales
line is much better than it used to be.
Oh yeah, much better. Their run defense is not bad at all. I think what Dave Canales is doing with Bryce Young is honestly pretty impressive. And I was on them last week against the Falcons too. So I like that.
Can we talk about how dumb the Falcons are for trading their first round pick?
It definitely doesn't look good.
Like the Rams are going to draft Stafford's successor.
Yeah,
probably after winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, I wouldn't draft a quarterback this year.
If anybody's going to take one of these quarterbacks and make them something, it's Sean McVay.
I would wait another year. I hate this class. I think it's Mendoza and maybe Dante Moore, and that's it.
Yeah, put Ty Simpson in a Sean McVay system behind Stafford for 2 years, and let's see how that looks.
I mean, put me in the Sean McVay system and let me go win a ring.
Yeah, I mean,
like these guys, whoever gets drafted is going to sit behind Stafford.
I don't think he's going to be that good. I watched Simpson on Saturday, and I didn't see a pro quarterback.
That was his worst game of the year, spread. Where were you at the rest of the year when he was co-leading for Heisman?
I probably should have watched some of those, so I'll give you credit there. All right, who's up? Am I up for the next best bet?
Yep.
All right, Tyler, you're gonna love this. I'm going against Tomlin as an underdog, and here's my reason why. I talked earlier about how much I was impressed by Ben Johnson using the run game to make things easier for Caleb Williams. I like that Montague guy. I wish I would have had him in my dynasty league. Oh, what a stud he is. Just watch the way he runs. Now you got that nice mix with him and Swift that he liked to do earlier with Gibbs and Montgomery over there. I think this Bears offense is coming along, and I just think it's a bad matchup for you guys right now, Tyler, because the Steelers just have not been able to stop the run. If the Bears were reliant on the pass game, I would count on maybe Tomlin to dial up some pressure with TJ Watt and the rest of those linebackers. But I think the Bears are going to be able to run the ball, and I think that's going to be the key to them covering this spread here. I'm taking the Chicago Bears -2.5. Tyler, I'll start with you. I'm finally picking against your team. Do you think I've finally seen the light, or did I choose the wrong week to do it?
I don't hate it. I mean, could they pressure Caleb and make some mistakes? Yes. Rome probably shreds this defense. I mean, I lean towards the Bears. Mononga High should be able to run on them also. But it's just like one of those weird spots. Like, I just don't want my money invested in any kind of Steelers games anymore because the times you think they're supposed to lose and the times you think they're supposed to win, they flip-flop. So, wouldn't surprise me if somehow Mason Rudolph throws for 300 yards, DK has a big day, and they just win the game. So, I lean the Bears.
Surprise me either. I mean,
we
know. Yeah, we're shooting for 55 to 60% here. Not going to get everyone right. But I do like the strength of that Bears rushing attack against the Steelers defense that's been terrible against the run all year. Maybe Cam Hayward should have hung it up at the end of last season. Jamie, what do you think of my pick? I know you're a Bears hater, so if you endorse it, I'll feel even better.
Come on, man. You don't got to ask me twice to fade the Bears. I think of that Breaking Bad, Jeff, we talked about last week, of Jesse Pinkman. They just can't keep getting away with this. I mean, they're currently the only team on both conferences that are technically in the playoffs with a negative point differential. Like, I just don't think that they're that good. There's got to be something, good to say about Caleb, the fact that they do keep winning these games late like that. That is definitely a credit to him and Ben Johnson. So I'm not taking that away. But I do think, like, one of these times, man, they're just not going to be able to do that. At least I'm hoping so. Like, I needed the Vikings as a Packer fan to win last week, so the Packers could be, first in the division. But I just don't think the Bears are that great. I don't think that their defense is very good at all. I don't know. I'm with you. I'll be rolling with the Steelers as well.
No, I'm on the Bears.
You're on the Bears? I misheard that.
I'm winning against my guy Tomlin this time. I just don't think he can stop the run.
He's putting himself in a win-win situation, Jamie. He either wins money or he gets to come on next week and talk about how great Tomlin is for winning.
Yeah, you guys want to fire Tomlin. Tomlin did this. Yeah,
Tomlin won with Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, that's just smart right there. That's just smart right there. And then what's the other meme? That guy from Always Sunny. I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top. All right, Jamie, what's your next best bet?
So the last one is going to be the Thursday night football. I want the under 44.5.
Okay.
I think that's so it looks like now it's just 44 is the best number you can get. I still like it though. I just think Houston's defense is so insanely good. I think that it is also on a short week. Unless Josh Allen's able to play Superman again and score 6 touchdowns, I just think that this team is going to have like a little bit of regression and going up against a tough Houston team on the road on a short week. I just like to take the classic Thursday night football under here. So I think this is going to be like a 23-20, 23-17 type of game.
All right. You're on the under there. I like Houston +6, and I think that they're correlated, but that didn't make my top 3 best bets. Tyler, what's your next best bet?
My next one is going to be I'm going to go fade Kirk Cousins in those Falcons, and we're going to take the Saints. Take them outright. Unless you want to lay the -1.5. I think they win the game. It's going to be ugly. Probably doesn't go over the total, but I think the Saints are going to be able to get more done in that game.
Yeah, well, I think Falcons have to be one of the most disappointing stories in the league after the way they finished last year and the promise that Penix showed for him to take that serious regression, and then they make those moves, and then none of them turn out well.
Did he actually look that good at the end of last year, or am I just forgetting something?
I think statistically he did. I thought he did, but obviously I'm biased.
I know you were always you've been a big Penix guy since he was at Indiana, and he could barely play like a game and a half. So
yeah, hey, yeah, I like Jaden Daniels too. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be my final pick. Once again, I'm saying I think we're underrating these teams. I think that because they're the Super Bowl champions, we hold them to a higher standard than the rest of these teams do. And Jamie always talks about betting on these teams coming off a big loss. Well, I like to fade some of these teams coming off a big win. Like, congratulations, you beat the Raiders, one of the most dysfunctional franchises currently in the NFL. And boy, for someone who preaches stability and hating firing the coaches, man, I think that Carroll might have to go at the end of this year. But regardless, I think the Cowboys are getting a little bit inflated here. And then, you're the Eagles. You just come off games against the Packers and then the Lions. This defense is going to seem a lot easier to move the ball against. I think we'll see a little renaissance from the Eagles offensive players. And I think that Eagles defense is going to continue to hum. I don't think the Cowboys will be the darlings of fantasy football this week. I think the Eagles shut them down. Give me the Eagles -3 on the road. Jamie, I know you're going to go against me. Take it away.
No, I'm not going to. I don't know. This says it. I have no interest in this spot. I would say this would be like, yeah, go take the team total under, but it is against the Cowboys. So maybe this is the get right spot, right? Maybe this is the game where Saquon actually does break a 20-yard run or something, right? So I actually don't hate this as much as I always like to say. I'll be rooting for the Cowboys, but I can see it for sure.
Okay, Tyler, what do you think, man? Am I being too square here? Taking the Super Bowl champions, laying points on the road in a division rivalry?
It's just, that hook's probably what gets you in the end. Like, let's be
honest. I got -3 on my book. I don't have the hook.
All right, well then just be ready to get your money back when the game's over.
You think it's a 3-point win? Okay, well I'll bet it now. Then if you're offshore, if you're
like what in your mind tells you that game should be 3,
right?
Exactly. So why? It's
because everybody loves offense. Nobody ever watches the defense. It's like when people watch basketball and they only watch the person dribbling the ball and they don't see anything else going on. I feel
drop
like
this game in the basket with the Colts +3 against the Steelers a few weeks ago when that line shouldn't have even existed. And you see what happened there. They baited everyone in. The Steelers win. Also drop it in the basket with the Jets and the Texans last year where everyone slammed the Texans and the Jets won the game.
Are you still bringing up that stupid Texans game last year? That was like 3 girlfriends ago for me. No, we're not talking about that game anymore.
All right, well.
I still remember the house I was watching that at. Tyler, stop bringing up bad memories.
We're 1 for 4 spread. Sometimes we make mistakes, it seems like, over there. We're making the same one again, trying to bet a trap game.
No, it's not a trap game. It's the most underrated team in the league.
If you were to print out the NFL slate with all the spreads on it and walk it around and like just the casuals and say Las Vegas public and say, what's your favorite bet of the week? It can only be a spread. I guarantee you your highest bet spread would be the Eagles -3.
Not off the Cowboys offense recently. George Pickens looks like Jerry Rice. More like Terrell Owens the way he plays, but still, you understand my point.
Eagles who are good against the worst defense in the league at -3.
They're not the worst defense anymore, and they showed that last week. They got that Kenny Clark guy they got is pretty good, Jamie.
What, you think them stopping the Raiders or something?
Yeah, I was just say you just must have only watched the game against the Raiders, against your Raiders. All of a sudden they're good.
Didn't they do good on defense 2 weeks ago?
Jacoby Brissett threw for 350 yards against them spread. Stop.
Yeah.
That was before they got all these guys back. They didn't have their hooker playing safety. All right, is that all our best bets? Because if so, I want to talk about some of these big games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any more, Tyler? All right, we do need to talk about. We've talked about the Chiefs already on this show. I almost made them a best bet here at -3, but I just feel like I keep going back to that well too often. It's not hanging out for me. I think that you guys will probably see it the opposite way. You guys probably both like the Colts. If I'm playing this, though, I'm playing the Chiefs here. I don't know if I believe in the Colts, and I talked about it while we were drafting. If you just sort Danny Dimes by the last 4 games, it's kind of been the player that we expected at the beginning of the year and not the MVP level candidate we got through the first 8 games. So I think that regression will continue. Thinking that, hey, I know the Colts defense is good, but that Broncos defense is really good. Chiefs offense should look a little better this week. I was going to lay it if I play it, but I hadn't got there yet. Jamie, your thoughts?
I lean with the Colts coming off a bye, but it's mostly I just don't know if the Chiefs. It's one of those things where I think we're in our head that we're just like still convinced that the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and there is a possibility where they're just not that team anymore. And so every week we're gonna like, yeah, this is gonna be the week, right? This is gonna be the week they're gonna get back on track, and maybe they just never get back on track. But I do think the offense will have a little bit more success. I can see this being a higher scoring game. Colts defense obviously is not near as good as Denver's. I don't hate it, but the 3.5 I don't love, to be honest with you.
That's funny. I got 3 here, so they like the dogs offshore. My other thing for the Chiefs is I like fading these dome teams outdoors. Tyler, what do you think of that game?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you stop Jonathan Taylor, you stop the Colts. Let's be honest. Like the Steelers held Jonathan Taylor to like 60 yards, and you see what happened once Daniel Jones was forced to actually have to throw the ball 40 plus times. Yes, he's thrown for a lot of yards, but it's also with the Jonathan Taylor factor there. If they're going to stack the box and they can stop him, it's going to make his game very interesting. And they do stop the run very well. So it's the Chiefs. It wouldn't surprise me if they get it. It wouldn't surprise me if Jonathan Taylor does break the defense, though, and this is the final straw, and we're like, oh, this team actually is done.
All right, interesting. So that'll be a fun game for us to watch. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific here on this Sunday for the NFL betting card. Week 12 brought to you by the Fanspeak Substack, Fanspeak Network. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Another game that I was close to, I was going to continue to fade the Cardinals there with the Jaguars, but I've talked about it before, man. This Jaguars team, you talk about volatile teams, Jamie. We got to put the Jaguars into that area. So I just couldn't get there with the team because it just feels like it's going to be either the easiest win of the day and they win by 20 and you feel great, or 5 minutes in, you're like, why did I bet on this team? So I didn't get there. If you were to play it, though, Jaguars cards, where would you land, Jamie?
I would go with the Jaguars. I really like Liam Cohen, man. I think he's a pretty good coach. BTJ might come back this week. I'm not sure that matters or not. Maybe it even hurts him if he keeps dropping balls. But I think what Liam Cohen's doing is pretty good. I think Jacoby Myers is starting to get a little bit more integrated into the offense as well. So I'm just going to back the better coach here. So give me the Jaguars.
Interesting. I don't even know if I think that Cohen's a better coach. I think that roster is way better, though. Tyler, your pick there between the Jaguars and the Cardinals.
I'd probably leave the side alone altogether and just take the over 47.5.
All right, fair enough. I don't mind that at all. We talked about the Falcons and the Saints. Jamie, being a homer didn't turn out too well for me last night, right? The +3 was pretty much dead by the second quarter there. And I almost made it a bet to go back to what I do best, and that's fade my favorite team because that's been profitable over the years. Unfortunately, like as much as I want Shedeur to be good, I'm ready to. I can just root for it. I don't think I need to put some money on there because what I see with him is obviously not what every other person in the NFL sees. So at a certain point, you have to say, well, I could stand there and say I'm right and everybody's wrong, but I might have to say, you know what? Maybe you guys were all right, and I saw this one wrong. So I couldn't get there with the Browns and the Raiders. But Jamie, off the strength of that defense, the +3.5 has to entice you, right?
Before you even answer that question, Jamie, why are we even talking about this game?
It's interesting. It's Shedeur Sanders.
It's
you don't
bad
watch
game.
ESPN, do you? That's all they talk about.
If you bet this game, call the number.
Yeah,
if you actually want to win money
the
gambling,
Raiders call the number.
If you actually want to win money gambling and not just waste money on Sundays, you skip right past this game.
Why would you not bet on one of the best defenses in the NFL? Myles Garrett's going to get
right past this game. Why are you ever betting on this?
You can bet Myles Garrett sacks props.
No, you just stay away from this game as a whole.
It cracks me up.
Bettors throwing this right out the window.
It cracks me up because before the spread's like, now I want to get to some more of the interesting games. And all of a sudden he brings up Cleveland and the Raiders.
You don't think that's not going to lead? You don't think Shedeur Sanders isn't going to lead Monday morning all those NFL shows?
It doesn't matter because nobody gives a shit about ESPN anymore. Nobody watches it.
I have no interest in this game whatsoever. If you made me
don't
pick,
care
I
if Shedeur Sanders is going to be good.
No, I could care less. He went 4 for 16. Brady sucks.
Yeah,
It's gonna look better this week.
I don't
he
care.
probably will, but I don't
it's
care
the poop
either.
bowl.
Yeah.
There's going to be
It's-
6
it's-
people watching this game, and 3 of them are last name or Sanders.
We can tell.
Yeah.
We can tell who on the screen really loves the game of football. All right,
Right.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are +7 going against the Rams. Tyler, I hope this meets your exacting
Now, this is a
standards
real
of
game.
games
This is
that
a
are
real
worthy
football
being
game,
talked
Spread.
about.
These are
It's
two
a good
thank
game.
contending
you.
teams.
Thank you. Unbelievable.
These are 2 contending teams who have real seasons that actually mean something the rest of the way. Cleveland and the Raiders mean shit the rest of the year. So this game actually means something. I'm going right back to the Rams. I said they're the best team in football, and they're going to be able to score against this Tampa Bay defense. And I think their defense was played on Baker. And Baker played in Sean McVay's system. You think Sean McVay don't know a little bit of Baker's weaknesses?
Yeah, man. I didn't bet this one. I was leaning the other way. I felt 7 was too much for an explosive Tampa Bay team that if I were to bet on to backdoor cover, not even game-winning drives, just game covering drives down by 10. I like Baker in that spot. Jamie, break the tie here. Buccaneers +7 taking on the Rams Sunday Night Football.
So I see 6.5, and I definitely would prefer the Rams 6.5. I'm just not high on this Tampa Bay team. I mean, it's just a lot of poor wide receivers, really, outside of Emeka Egbuka. I mean, we might see Bucky and Godwin come back, but I'm not sure how much of an upgrade Godwin is over Tez Johnson or any of these other guys. So I would lean the Rams. But again, if Baker Magic came out with and did a late cover, would I be shocked? I wouldn't. But I would definitely lean the Rams.
I mean, you talk about people betting on, right? Baker's the guy I want to bet on. He's not going to just start pouting when things go bad, right?
No doubt.
If they're down by 14, he's going to be.
He's the one caveat here where you're like, okay, you don't feel
Yeah.
great about it. But outside of that, I think the Rams are a much, much better football team than Tampa Bay.
No, I agree with you too. Some of this is situational as well. If it wasn't Sunday night, if it was more of a Sunday day where they didn't have like the prime time amping them up, I think I would have added the Buccaneers. It just it's one of those things we like to do, right? I'm not even like saying take the +271 money line, but are the Rams going to give your best performance coming off that huge win over Seattle? We know how big that game was last week, and we know. As much as we'd like to believe we can give 110% every single day, it's hard to be up for every single week of football. But yeah, I didn't get there.
I got a fun hypothetical for you.
Oh, I can't wait for this
Across every casino in America, would there be more money wagered on the Cleveland Browns versus the Raiders game versus their 2 rookie contracts that are going to get drafted this year because they're probably both coming out of the top 5, which is probably going to be like 10 million combined with those.
Dude, I don't think you understand how popular Shedeur Sanders is in the black community. I think there's gonna be a lot of money wagered on this game.
I mean, maybe, but I don't see it. I might end up making Cleveland a play. I just felt, but like that just didn't look good last week. If you're gonna run the bet them,
no,
good luck.
No, it looked terrible. Let's see what Stefanski or whoever this other guy can do.
Whether he's white, black, blue, yellow, green, indigo, purple, he didn't look good. Like if Drake May played like that, we'd say the same thing. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, the criticism for is fair. So it's his first start though. Let's see if he can get better with a week of practice. And Tyler, I need to win these bets to buy a light for in here. This is the first time since daylight savings we've gone this late.
Bigfoot's gonna come up from behind you.
I know. I kept noticing a darker. I mean, at first he had nice Christmas.
I have this light on next to me, and it's just not doing anything. Oh well, okay. Hold on.
There you go. There you go.
Lampshade. I had to take the lampshade off for you to see me.
Yeah,
and I even decorated for Christmas there in the back.
I know. I was like, "It's a nice Christmas day."
How do the cats not mess with those decorations? By the way, because we've watched that one.
I just put it up right before the show, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. So that'll be on the floor in about an hour.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for me for this week. Boy, long show. If you guys stuck through with us the whole time, you're true FanSpeak diehards, and we appreciate it. Tyler, get ready for final words. But Jamie, what's the last thought you got for this week 12?
Just quickly, I just real quick. I don't need a breakdown or nothing. I'm just curious on what your guys' thoughts are on Minnesota Green Bay. I do think it's a sneaky big game this week, at least for the NFC North.
I wanted to. I was like just salivating at the prospect of coming on here and taking Minnesota and that Flores defense here. But it's just JJ McCarthy where he's at. I just can't do it right now. I feel like Jefferson's given up on him. And boy, if he can't figure out just like the basics of NFL, like just throw it to your best player, right? Like Flacco figured that out when he went to Cincinnati, right? Hey, maybe I should just throw it to my best guy every single time. Like that might work. I wanted to get there. I know Green Bay snuck that one out, but it's a couple games in a row for them that they continue to just look beyond the precipice. I mean, if Dubes could remember that he's like a wide receiver and not like a defensive back, that game looks a lot different. Wicks is the same way.
They had like 7 registered drops. 7 registered drops on the offense side of the ball, and I think they had 4, dropped interceptions too. Like Jameis was trying his hardest to be like, yo, here's a 3 interception game. They just couldn't do it. This game does, I want to hear Tyler's thoughts too, but this game does worry me a little bit as a Packer fan. I mean, they got 3 tough division games coming up in a row. And the one thing about the Packers is they don't allow explosives, right? And they generally don't allow a lot of points, but they will give up a lot of yardage, and it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts. So I just
don't think McCarthy's capable of doing that right now, though. Connell can draw it up. McCarthy hasn't shown the ability to be consistent. He shows the ability to put highlights on there.
If you guys lose this game, the season's over.
No.
I mean, if they lose this game, I think it's going to be difficult for me to be able to convince myself that this team has a real chance of
they're not if they lose this game, they're not a real contender. Yes, they can still make the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game, but they are not a real contender if they lose this game.
I understand your point. Okay,
their season isn't just over spread. Like, like it's just dead.
Our season's over, Tyler. I'm watching college football on Saturday and saying, don't draft Ty Simpson. He's not good
We're
enough.
In the same boat. We're in the same boat. I'm just gonna win a few more games than you. Our seasons are over.
Well, at least you get to enjoy that wild card weekend, and you get to enjoy all the pregame shows until the game actually kicks off, and you're down by 14 at the end of the first quarter. All right, So, for your sake, Jamie, I hope you win because that would be a really tough loss if you lost. But like I said, I even think you cover. If you give me the proverbial $100, I can't take Minnesota right now, especially not against this defense. I mean, he looked like that against the Bears.
Yeah, all Green Bay's got to do is get to like 24. If they can put points on the board and get to 24, they should win this game. If they get to 30 plus, they cover easily in my eyes.
Sure. I think I agree with that. And the offense did look much better last week. It was just kind of they could not get off the field defensively, and then just a bunch of like dropped interceptions that then Jameis then turned into, next play was a big play. And so I agree. I will, like I've said before, I will never back the Packers when they're like touchdown or more favorites. Like I'm done. I'm off of that boat. This team just like almost never covers when they're like touchdown favorites all season long. So I'm done. I'm off of that. And to be honest, like last week I felt really comfortable with saying to just, tease the Packers. I don't even I'm nervous about this game, to be honest. Maybe it's just because I do really like Kevin O'Connell, and I think Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator. So it does get me nervous, but I'm hoping they win because I agree with Tyler.
Honestly, if they threw Wentz in there, I might switch my pick to the Vikings. That's how bad I think McCarthy is at this point of his career.
If they put Wentz back in for Sunday, you'd bet him?
At 6.5,
I'd take your action because he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand my point, right? I mean, my point is just
I get your point.
I can't back JJ McCarthy. I mean, you'd have
Parsons
to
would break that guy in half.
Yeah, and it sucks too because I see why they thought he would be good.
Yeah, he throws
just right here.
Missiles. He has no touch on the football.
Yeah, and he's not reading the. I mean, Jefferson.
No, he's slow.
You think Jefferson's all of a sudden not getting open?
Right.
He's just all of a sudden getting covered. Every other, even what was your guy's name? You always bring up. O'Connell made. What's his name? Nick Mullins. Right? I mean, it's just
100%. And the thing is with Jefferson's not like a diva wide receiver. You don't see him complain a lot. And this past game, you could tell he's like, dude, I'm over this guy. You know,
well, and here's the thing
I've
with
done it.
Jefferson, he's not like a diva, but he's truthful, and that might not go over well with a guy that's already struggling with his confidence.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's not
wide
afraid to just tell him how much he sucks.
You want to know which wide receiver in the NFL's got the strongest character of them all, and he's the most anti-diva receiver, and he should probably be the loudest mouth one of them all.
Who?
Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson has dealt with absolute dog shit his entire career.
There ain't no doubt.
And the man is one of the most elite receivers in the league.
Yeah,
when that ball is put anywhere in his realm of catching ability, he makes some of the wildest catches you see. Give that man a quarterback, and you're going to spread. Were we drafting him last year in best ball, like 9, when we thought Rodgers was going to be good?
Yeah.
The dude is elite. He just needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
And you never hear him
like I said, I don't know if he's in this draft. I think Mendoza can be good, but I don't know if he's going to be in our top 10 list anytime soon. I think maybe Dante Moore's got a little more upside, but I just don't see it this year. These guys don't. You're talking about Tyson.
I lean more towards Mendoza over Moore.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too.
Moore had some really, really bad showings at UCLA, and then he switched to Oregon, and he looked good to start the year, but he's kind of teetered off towards the end. I don't like the character of Moore. I think you could have some bad spots there. Mendoza's 6'5" and almost 240 pounds spread. That's a big boy.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to be good, it's probably him.
And he's made some big throws, some pro-level throws with the game on the line. He's not just doing, it's a game on the line, and they need him, and he's dialing it in there. Yeah, we'll have to move Mendoza to number 1. Unfortunately, I guess, boy, I really got to bet on the Browns and root for him. If Raiders are going to have any shot to get him, there's no way we can win this game. We're going to have to lose there to Cleveland. I still can't believe we're favored. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I still think there's something weird going on with the Raiders. I think you guys have like some quarterback penciled in, and I don't know if it's a guy in this draft, if it's the next draft.
If it's the next draft, it's CJ Carr.
It legit feels like they have a guy already like up on the billboard, and this is the guy in the end who's coming in to save the day.
Do not do that to my boy CJ Carr. Come on, man. Don't go to Las Vegas.
We already got a bunch of recycled car insurance and protect the car and drive the car and
Right.
Yeah, we already got all those. We already got those shirts already made, Jamie. Don't make us buy new merchandise.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie. Final thoughts for the week, and then we'll go to Tyler.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on again. It's a fun week. Man, it's getting closer and closer. I know we talked about when Meg was on, but best ball playoffs coming up soon too. I can't believe we're already now talking so much about like playoff seeding and whatnot. I swear it feels like the season just started like 2 weeks ago. This happens every single year. So let's enjoy the rest of these games, man, while we got them.
I know. I love this time of year. It's so green and beautiful when I drive around. Like all the dead grass in California turned back green again. And it's just, oh my gosh, even the air smells better. All right, Tyler, final words until we come back next week.
Yeah, I think we found a bunch of winners for this week. You don't got to go betting every game. You don't got to bet the bad one if you don't want to. Cough, cough, the Browns and the Raiders. And yeah, just tell all the picks and be back on Friday for the prop show and be on for the other shows. I don't have the schedule memorized, but I know Andrew and Justin do.
It's switched this week too. Yeah,
it switched this week too. See, so it'd mess me all up if I had it memorized. So they'll have their shows. All right, just put the notifications on for the channel, and then you'll know when everything starts. So that's all you got to do.
All right, guys. Actually, I'm going to get us out of here this week. Tune in for the NFL betting card next week, where at the top of the show, we'll discuss the performance of Shedeur Sanders.